We're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I told the people
and we're
that
live. Hello, and welcome back to the INVICTUS stream. My name, as always, is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I am here with my conceptual brother, Alex.
I'm definitely into concepts.
My conjunctive brother, Chris.
Conjunctions?
Conjunctive.
And?
I made up the name. My constructive friend, Joe.
I put houses together. I don't know what you want me to say.
And my condescending friend, Justin.
Really? Is this the best you can do?
And we are here with Diaspora Part 2, the continuation of Diaspora. Sound effects aren't working, so I never tried them.
Diaspora.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is going to be a very interesting game for about 16 different reasons, but I'm only going to name 2. Number 1, it's old school. That means no sound effects, in and out dropping, we're going to be in and out of character, and we're going to be having a real cool laid-back time. The other reason, which was part of the 3 reasons I just listed, is that this is a new game. If you watch Diaspora version 1, basically what you've done with these guys, with Chris, Alex, and Justin, is started to build a universe together. Briefly tell us about that, Justin, like 10 seconds.
Okay, so Chris is actually going to show us in a little bit, but we created a cluster basically, a bunch of different solar systems in a universe that each system has its own unique aspects.
Good enough. And that's what they did first game, and more on that later. But this second game, we're going to be diving a little bit more into that, going over it again, as well as adding a few more, and then we're going to be getting into the game, playing a few crazy characters like Thorn de Bois and a few others that you're going to find out very shortly. This is, of course,
right, you sons of bitches.
We are, of course, playing the... What is this game called? Or what was I saying? Sorry, Chris just messaged me, because apparently...
But it's an 18-plus game.
I was going to say, this is, of course, an 18-plus game. That means if you don't like no-no words or sexually explicit content or
fucking asshole
or fucking assholes, then poor sad little Chris is not going to be happy, because he doesn't like 18 plus shows. So, you know, but if you don't like that, that's totally fine. You don't have to watch this video. Just make sure you like it before you close down the video, and subscribe, and also give us all your love.
And money.
And be just...
That's what we want.
We want money.
Be really, really cool, and like and share the video, because we don't do this for money.
Can you get that close up enough?
No, get a little closer. A little closer. Did you get?
Is that close enough?
No.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh, it's gone.
Forget it. Now we're not 18 plus. No, forget it. But we don't do this for money. I do. We do this. Well, you do, but I do. We have to pay you to do it, and we have to pay Alex too, and Chris.
That's right. It's 18 plus.
You know what? I don't do this for money. So if you want to be a nice person to me, share the video. Maybe not this one. It might turn out to be good, so maybe share this one. I just said maybe, but
no, it's definitely gonna be good.
I didn't say it wouldn't. But share all of it. You know, tell your friends about us. Yeah. Go to your mom's house for tea, because you don't see her enough, and tell her about us, and she'll go, "That's nice, dear." But do it anyway, because she'll be interested in it, and she'll go, "That sounds very not great."
You should like my mom. She's like, "You play video games on?" No, Mom, not video games. Like, on a video? I just forget.
You don't get me.
Video
you don't
machine?
Understand what I'm into. And he's
super adorable.
That's it. I'm running away from home.
And you like that, do you?
Is that the Mario? Is that the Luigi game?
You know, on the other end of the spectrum...
Is this to do with the Nintendo?
On the other end of the spectrum, my wife's family, everybody's saying, "So that's cool. So wait, you have people that like watch and they follow along?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a community. We raise like all this money." And they're like, "That's awesome."
They think it's
they're
cool.
upstairs watching right now.
And then they start watching, and then they go, "Oh, I get it now. I see it."
Oh, no.
It's really long. That's what they.
I was so wrong. But yeah, so what we were talking about? Yeah, like the video and share the video and do all that kind of stuff, because it makes us feel really, 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 really special.
Smash that like button.
Do it like that, Hulk style. Also, if you like us, join the Facebook group, because the Facebook group is where all the cool people hang out. It's where I hang out, and I'm pretty much 50% of the cool people in this entire group. The other 50%, of course, being Justin's hair when he grows it long.
Yep. Big fro.
You do.
Black
You
Dynamite.
did. I missed you, Justin. How are you doing?
Great.
I'm good, man. I miss you guys too.
Yeah,
When are you gonna move out to Calgary?
Tomorrow.
Fucking never.
Fucking never. You're joking, right?
But yeah, going back to that thing 2 minutes ago, Facebook group, join that. It's really cool. When you join the Facebook group and you talk and you hang out, you also win a chance to, or earn a chance, or whatever the fuck, to win MVP, which is the most valuable post. It's the post of the week that we sort of distinguish as something that we thought was particularly interesting or clever or funny. And this week, I'm going to throw it to JJ to tell us who won a little bit of that. Justin, who won a little bit of that?
Who won a little bit of that?
Just a little bit.
I'll
Just a
tell
bit.
ya. Today's MVP goes to Rob Donaldson. Who is a new member. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Mr. Yes, he's a new member, and he just posted a picture on the stream that is very Cthulhu, Dunwich, horror, Wilbur Whateley inspired.
I think it's
what
quite
inspired it.
literally Wilbur Watley. Or
Quite literally what inspired it.
Yeah.
And check it out. It's on the Facebook page, and it looks like it's actually painted.
Yeah,
like
I think
not,
he painted it. Like
he
with
didn't
paint.
just do it in paint.
No,
like
not
paint.
Alex style MS paint, like
No.
real paint.
Oh, paint. That's where that's based off of.
That's what that's based on. MS Paint is based on real paint.
So yeah, congratulations, Rob Donaldson. You are this week's winner of the most valuable post.
Bum, ba, 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 ba,
There's no sound
ba.
effects tonight for whatever reason. So
I can hear them. You can't hear them?
No, can you?
No.
Yeah,
I can hear them
open
now.
The,
Yeah.
Open
Gotta
invite.
keep-
I have INVICTUS open. I can't hear him. Oh!
I can't.
Yeah, you have to switch to the tab.
I'm on the tab. Can audience hear clapping and I'm just not and I'm just like clicking 1,000 times?
I can hear all of that.
Oh.
Apparently the clapping and all the sound effects are way louder.
Oh, there it
than-
goes. Never mind. I do hear it now.
Good.
So
I'm
yeah,
glad that we just made everyone's eardrums bleed.
you know what? They'll be
Everybody's
fine.
like, fuck.
Chris is still trying to figure out
tear
his
your
stuff. So.
headphones out.
Stop
Like-
doing that.
So that's right. That's who won MVP. If you want to earn a chance to get MVP, here's how you do it. Join the Facebook group and be cool. Like chat and be like, "Hey, I like RPGs and here's why." Or it's my birthday. I got stuff
Here's
going on.
Here's why.
Post a picture of your fucking table when you're playing games with your friends.
Or just your fucking table without playing games with your friends because that
Just
would
your
be
kitchen
interesting.
table.
Just a table. Best table wins. Next MVP, the best table.
I'm totally down. We should have that contest.
Let's do it.
You know, the stream used to be a lot weirder. We used to have remember the beard contest that Greg Bush won like way back when? It was like best
Greg
beard.
Bush won. I think I won the best.
Oh, you
beard
did,
contest.
which was wrong.
And there
you
was
know
a
that was
beard
wrong.
riot.
Yeah.
There were car doors slamming in the streets of everywhere that
Yeah.
night.
No, you shouldn't have won that. I'm
yet-
so mad about that actually. But you know what? I'm not petty. I only trim bits of your beard every time you sleep over and keep them in a jar to make my own Justin beard. I think Chris is like muted or something, so that's why we're talking a lot. Not really. We're talking a lot because I want to. Finally,
I'm not muted at all.
Oh,
I just
let me just mute you for a
like
second. Hold on. There we go. Finally,
Poor Chris. He's having so many technical difficulties.
there is no real finally, actually. That's about it. We don't have Extra Life anymore. Thank you again to everything that happened
Yeah.
with Extra Life. That was fantastic. We raised so much fucking money. We just met Godpool, which is really cool, actually. That might be a story for now or after. I don't know.
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, Joe, Alex, and myself picked him up from the airport and played some board games downtown in Toronto at a board game cafe called Snakes and Lattes, and we had some beers and some coffee and some
played
subpar.
D&D.
And we played some D&D that Joe ran, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. And there's more to that story, but that'll come later, I guess. When
Is
I'm
there-
ready when you guys are. I mean, we can keep vamping for the rest of the night, or we can play some damn role playing.
Okay, well,
Let's
keep
play some
vamping.
damn roleplay.
So basically, all right. Without further ado, Chris, take us back to Diaspora.
From this part on, it's going to be Diaspora.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
No, it's pretty. I think it's either way. I think it's like
You and I say the exact
allowable. It's fine.
Oh, schedule.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I would like Alex, because my screen share is not working.
Yeah.
And this whole game was based on, so we might as well pack it in now. Or, alternatively, I can rely heavily on my fellow Invictus members here to help me out. Alex, would you mind opening screen share and sharing for us our Lino page, our collaborative cluster that we created? Collaborative cluster.
Here it is.
Alliteration.
Here it is. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. From now on, I will talk like data.
Great.
Data. It's pronounced data.
Diaspora, data.
If you were here last game, we created this cluster, which is just a grouping of systems connected by what's called slipknots, slipstreams. So basically, all these. No, the slipknot is where the slipstream's entrance points and exit points, but slipstream is the actual pathway. So between each of these, different colored systems, which is a grouping of stars, a cluster of stars, or whatever, there's a pathway, and you can see those red lines which connect. So let's start with the first one here, Sententia. So the different numbers there. So we have a slipstream mastery, which means they're technologically fairly advanced. They have one garden and several survivable worlds. They are multiple dependencies, so they might not have everything they need. Okay, I believe this is yours, Alex. Would you like to introduce this planet if you remember?
I actually don't remember the name.
Then, of the
planet.
Just the system.
So I mean, the system it has one red supergiant sun, 30 planets. Of those 30, there are 7 survivable planets, and it's quite a how do you say? It's a catastrophic system. There's several collisions that happen, and physical challenges, and could be collisions still to come. But the slipstream mastery is fairly recent. So they've just recently kind of got this ability. I've written my character. We're saying in the last 100 years they've been able to do this slipstream.
Cool.
So they're the one garden planet, and there's 7 survivable worlds. So I'll go into that later. The aspects though of and you might want to talk a little bit about aspects and the non-system aspects.
Yep.
I don't really understand that too much, but why don't you do that before I go on?
Sure. So aspects basically are sentences that describe whether basically anything in this game. And it allows for you to call upon these aspects when you have to roll. So for example, if you are rolling something that you're in Sententia and you want to apply an aspect, the fact that resources are scarce. So it might be that you're doing a combat and you're rolling against someone and you want them to actually sputter because they're running out of gas because resources are scarce. You can try to apply that, and we kind of decide as a group, does that make sense? That makes sense? Good, we'll go with it. So aspects are just these descriptive sentences that we create for basically everything that's involved in this game, from players to items to, in this case, systems.
And then
I'm going to quickly go over the rest, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Sententia, so we're looking at like a very volatile as the orbitals are concerned. So there's lots of debris, there's lots of star planets that have been broken up, new moons forming, that type of thing. Carcerum, like the name implies, is actually a planet for impunitive measures. So people are put there to labor. They are actually forced to create and mine, and they actually, part of their punishment is to produce these machines that in the robots actually are their guards. So it's kind of really horrible because they're making their oppressors. So horrible place. Which actually, I'm going to jump over to Reaper right now, which is the furthest one to the right, the green one there. Reaper is kind of the head of this whole cluster. It's got the most power, very resource heavy. They keep stockpiling it. The biggest thing in the system is actually a space station the size of a moon that's actually absorbing energy from the sun. And it is basically taking over. It's militarized so much. The only issue is because these systems are so far apart, Sententia to Reaper is a huge amount of distance. Take lots and lots of time to get from one to another. So the power of Reaper has not actually been felt so great in Sententia, but quite a bit in Phoenix, which Phoenix is the next one. Phoenix is kind of a terraforming system. It's a nebula system. There's a lot of radiation, and some of the creatures there that you see, very interesting alien state. And finally, Benares. So there's two twin suns. That's why it's binary. 6 total planets, lush environment. This is kind of where the majority of the food comes for the whole cluster. So the economy here, everything's based on one another. You know, we got Carstrom, which is going to be the punitive measures. We got Reaper military, and the other two kind of the other ones fall into place. So that's just kind of a quick overview of the cluster for Joe and Harlan.
So if we want to fuck something and we blow up one of these planets and everything crumbles, they depend too much on each other.
No, so what's going to happen if you do that? You're going to end up in Carstrom because they're just too powerful.
Unless I blow them up first. Wait a minute, I'm French. Unless I blow them up first. Ha ha!
Now, did you say, Chris, if there are any like warring systems, any competing systems right now?
What you'll actually see is that because of Reaper being such a superpower, especially in military, and really monopolizing the resources for the whole cluster, you know, there's attacks throughout the system, that what we have is kind of two factions. The first one is a very kind of a rebellion type force, guerrilla type warfare, not a lot of funding. Usually people who've spent time in Carstrom or even in Sentencia, where the you know, you're a little bit more free because the military is not there. So those are the kind of the two factions that are mostly at war. In Sentencia, you'll find that there's a lot of challenges because the recent monarch has died. Yeah. And so that means that there's a lot of turmoil in that area. But a lot of the rebel forces are coming from there.
One thing I wanted to point out was the environmentally irresponsible, hence why their resources are so down. You know, and the political turmoil. Those two make this planet or this planetary system a very aggressive system, you could say.
Exactly. So I just want to get some more planets in here. So in our cluster, INVICTUS cluster. So what that means is I want Joe and Harlan to actually, we're going to start right from the beginning to create at least 2 more systems.
2 more systems.
What I would like you to do, Harlan, is roll 4d4.
A fell d4? Like the number 4d4?
Actually, yeah, 4d4 for us, please. 40.
It's going to be tough to get exactly fell d4.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2, 1, 2, 3.
2, 1, 2, 3. And if you see on our page 8. There, and sorry, let me say this again. We're gonna do d6s.
Oh, no.
Try that again.
Foul d6s, yeah?
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so anything that's a 1 or a 2 becomes a negative. 3 or 4 is neutral, and 5 and 6 is positive. So what did you end up getting?
2, 3, 4, 5. So that's
0.
Negative 2, 3,
no.
4, and 5. What?
You went negative 2, 0, 0, plus 1. Or negative 1 plus.
It is. It's
plus
null.
It's
null
0.
Now 0 result, just like me.
So we're going to go with technological rating of a 0. Justin, would you mind adding a post-it note for me?
Sure.
So you guys this system is still exploring the system. That's kind of the sentence we're going to put there. So technological rating of 0, exploring the system. They've just gotten to a point of technology where they're able to leave planets and travel around, but they haven't maybe learned about slipstreams yet. Can you roll it again, Harlan?
Another 46?
Yep.
All right.
What was the first result again?
0.
0.
T0.
0.
Okay, so that's not good either. That's negative 3.
Negative 3. So hostile environment, gravity but dangerous atmosphere, that type of thing. Hostile environment.
This planet sucks.
And one more time.
At least it's gravity.
Are you adding this? I don't see them showing up.
Yeah, it should be between Binaris and Phoenix right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
It's just gonna take a second to reload. Okay. There we go.
And another one. All right. Ooh, there we go. So that looks like it's +3.
Oh.
So multiple exports. So they're rich in resources.
It's like an iron planet. Like they just like mine it nonstop and like sell.
Well, that's
excellent.
Yeah, exactly. So now you kind of have to come up with jot the phrases or aspects based on the that corresponds to these values. So you're going to come up with sentences to describe it based on kind of an idea, based on the fact that, you know, they're exploring the system. It's a pretty hostile environment, but they're rich in resources. So how would you describe this planet? And before that, I want you to actually tell me how many, describe the celestial bodies in this planet. Is there a moon? Is there one star? Is there multiple
There are
suns?
16 moons.
16 moons. Are they moons? So that means that they need to revolve around
just
something.
constant, just moon. All right, I'll take it seriously.
This is supposed to be hard sci-fi, right? Like.
All right.
Yeah, but it actually puts
Yes.
it in quotation, hard sci-fi.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So like, okay. So
So what kind of system would you picture that is going to have technologically pretty primitive?
yeah, it's going to be like a bunch of desert planets with like a bunch
Okay.
of rich resources that can be mined. So it's going to be like I'm kind of thinking actually from the end of the Empire game that we played. Funnily enough, how that planet was like barren, but they had that crystal underground. You know what I mean? That blue crystal.
Oh, the blue ramen.
Yeah, the blue ramen. That's right. I kind of pictured like just planets filled with that. So and like dry. So like yeah, there's gonna be like a lot of sun in this fucking solar system.
Okay, so we're saying it's a arid.
Arid. Yes.
How many planets are we talking?
What's the average so far?
We have an extreme
7.
right
like,
here.
okay. Let's say 4 massive planets.
And are they orbiting around anything?
Yeah, just a sun.
Okay, so
the sun called
A star?
a star. Sorry, well, it's the sun for the person on that planet.
they happen to call it the sun.
They happen to call it the sun. They don't know about ours.
In an infinite universe, everything is possible.
Yeah, and it's called Arkid is the name of the
Cool.
star.
I like that. Is that what about the name of the system?
That would be
The
very
name of the
interesting,
system is called Ren. WREN.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay, that's cool.
Arkid is the main star, and there's 4 massive planets: Elas, Ion, Clave, and Kindle.
So I'm just going to put this forward and Kindle. Are you looking at things in your room?
No,
Desk
no.
and headphone?
I don't know.
and
You think I own a Kindle?
No, you're looking at all your books and you go, damn, I need a Kindle.
No, I don't read.
So just so you're aware, both Harlan and Joe, your systems, and this works perfectly for Harlan's because of the fact we'll see what happens with Joe's, is that you're just exploring the system.
Right.
They are aware of them. The rest of the Invictus cluster are aware of these systems. However, they have yet to find the slipstreams and the ability to travel there. They're still too far away to get to them until they can find a slipstream. But they are aware of it. They've sent probes and they've witnessed things, information coming back, but it's too far away.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you know what? David gave me a great idea, which I also like. There's a lot of asteroids floating around in space that can be mined. So it's not just the main planets that are rich in resources, but also massive, dense asteroid fields with large asteroids that you can kind of float up alongside and kind of mine out.
And I imagine with their really low technological advancement that it's actually very dangerous to mine because they're using pretty primitive tools.
It is, but these guys are like almost like space cowboys out here, right? Like
Yeah.
growing up
Wild West.
growing up in Ren, like in the Ren solar system, you got like grit on your fingernails and calloused hands because you're like honestly they've had people hanging onto the side of ships going real low next to fucking asteroids with like a tether belt hanging out back. Like it's the fucking Wild West of the Invictus cluster.
Can I just put this out there that if any of these systems were able to find the slipstream to this cluster, what do we call it? Sorry, this system. What is this
Ren.
system called? If any of these other systems find a slipstream to Ren, they are going to be the wealthiest of all of the others because they'll have a monopoly on all those resources.
Fuck yeah,
So it's kind of like an arms race to try to get there. We need to find that slipstream.
it is.
So far, it's the highest resources in all
Right, so it's like-
cluster.
But they're
Yeah,
humble
it could
too.
change
They're ignorant farmers here. They're ignorant miners. They're just
They
like
don't know the wealth that they're sitting
They don't
on.
know what it's worth. Yeah, they're like, well, I use it to power my.
No, they know.
This gold?
They know.
My
yeah.
house is made of gold.
I'm just more thinking they're like bad.
Gold's valuable. I just shed my gold.
This is like the fucking what do you call it? Like fan boats in the swamp down south. These people like going around the asteroid belts. They're like just like they have fun and like this like jalopy-esque space.
We
ship.
like them shiny rocks.
The spaceships are like backfiring every once in a while. It's like
Okay, so we have a pretty good idea. We kind of have a little bit of an image going. I want you to come up with these general sentences that we can describe it. So 2 aspects that reflect these numbers now.
Can
Okay.
it be a badass sentence or does it have to be actually like descriptive?
it needs to be something that we can apply to a role. So say we're in this land, and I made you do, a survival check. Maybe you could apply it. So arid, for example.
Yeah.
Like water.
So I've said like arid
Scarce.
terrain.
Water is scarce, or moisture scarce. Something like that would kind of work because you could apply it.
Okay. So like desolate arid terrain. Does that
or maybe it's not arid, but it's hard to get the resources.
One way
With Wild West, I liked that Wild West kind of.
Wild West.
That's
Wild
sort of
West.
what I'm picturing. Yeah.
So maybe make that.
Think of like a motto for how people would describe the system. Like, oh, it's the Wild West of the cluster.
It
fits.
fucking is. The Wren's the wild Wren. The wild. Fuck. There's something there.
People don't know what
Be
the
like
Wild
a
West
slogan.
is, but
No, it's like our fucking catchphrase. Like, come to Ontario. It's like
Yeah.
our travel motto.
Good things grow.
Good things grow in Wren. Nothing grows in Wren.
Ontario.
Which is a terrible. We need way better.
I mean, no, we agriculture.
Our tourism needs to revamp. There's so much cooler stuff. No one wants
What?
good
What's
things
the cooler
grow.
stuff?
Would you go to like Spain if it was like good things grow in Spain? It's like
Yeah, 'cause
or
all of
Ooh,
them
get me some vegetables.
right? It's
Mhm.
like just be cooler. There's so much cooler stuff. Anyway,
be cool.
Just
Be cool.
Be cool. Ren.
Be-
Something badass. Something like tough as nails. Like tough.
So
as
do you want another one we had? What do we have? Steadfast development. That was one aspect of another one.
Oh, that's so
We
technical.
had resources are scared. Unsettling alien world was one.
Okay, then just rich resources, I guess, if we're going like.
Well, okay. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like like put your 6-shooter on your fucking hip, come out to Ren.
You could do something like a gold
Iron Rush waiting
gold rush.
waiting to happen.
Resource rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ren rush, Ren the fucking where the gold fuck it, I don't know.
You got nothing there.
I'm just excited.
Okay.
Hey, I thought of 5 fucking moons. The name
Okay,
of the
so now
song-
Harlan,
I'm-
here's where you get to be even more creative.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So give the system 2 aspects that describe things not implied by the numbers. So you can be as creative as you want here. It can be about philosophy, geography, hydrography, astrography, history, wars, anything you want that would be important to the system, but it has nothing to do with the numbers necessarily.
Perfect. So this is definitely like what I was talking about, like with the people, like living on the these are like the outer, not the outer limits, but like the outer rim. This is the outer rim type personalities where they put everything on the fucking edge, and like other systems would be like, well, we need to go to space. Well, let's make sure the sealant is working. These guys are like, get on the fucking back, Jimmy. Make sure your helmet's on, because we're going up to mine. And they're like,
Nice. Like tough as nails kind of thing.
yeah, it's kind of like the Armageddon side of what Bruce Willis is, where he's like, I'm an oil miner and I do my shit. This is literally the movie Armageddon. These are oil miners going to space.
I will close my eyes, or whatever it is.
Oh, fuck, that's a
Aerosmith.
good song, yeah. Don't want to miss a thing.
Okay, so the last step, Justin, once Justin adds a little bit more detail, Harlan, I'll let you come back.
Yeah,
I'll
let me
you
do
think
it while
about
you're
it.
like doing jokes.
Because the nice thing about this, I just want to introduce, get you guys involved in the cluster here, and you can add it later, because actually we haven't found the slipstreams yet, so people haven't explored it yet. So Joe, let's do the same thing for you, okay?
Great. You want me to roll 4d6?
Start with 46.
All right.
Justin, thank you for doing the scribing work.
Yeah, no problem. How do I change? Ah, there we go.
And Alex, thank you for being a monitor.
No problem.
4, 4, 6, and a 2.
Alex is like that kid in the presentations who just holds the Bristol board up.
Aww.
So
I
you're
did that
zero,
too.
you're 0 as well, Joe.
4,
So-
6,
0.
and 2. Yep, 0.
So exploring the system again, which works perfect. That's
Great.
awesome.
Where are we gonna put this one, Justin?
I'm gonna put it down.
Next to those little penis slugs.
Oh, not that.
That's the
Or put it
plan.
between blue and green,
Penis slugs.
or
Blue
yellow
and
and green.
Yeah, right
There's
there.
a whole bunch of extra space down to the right if you want to
Oh.
go there.
Yeah. Okay, do that.
Penis slugs.
Tons of space. Okay, so Joe, perfect. Exploring the system. So the technology is not very advanced, just so you know. They don't have
Right.
enough to do the slipstream technology. Okay, do it again.
5, 2, 2, and 1.
Ooh.
So that's a net -1.
Yeah.
Nope, net -2.
Really?
Yep.
So hostile environment again.
Oh my God.
Was mine
Yeah,
hostile
very
as well?
similar.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Oh
So
no,
gravity,
yours
but,
was
gravity,
Hers
but
is
maybe a
-2?
dangerous atmosphere or something.
Mine's
Yeah,
barren
-2.
world.
Hostile environment. Yeah.
yeah -2. Harlan's is -3, so it's
Yeah,
a little
mine
less
was
hostile.
barren.
So there's an atmosphere at least here, some places.
Yeah.
So Harlan's actually should be worse than yours.
Yeah, Harlan,
That's
you're like, yeah, yours like it's on in the asteroid.
Mine's a badass.
Just
You
how
gotta be
you
a
said
badass
it.
to live
All we're
here.
gonna do is we're gonna add sandworms to Harlan's and it'll equal out. We're good.
Sandworm.
Tremors. There's tremors.
Fuck
It could be
yeah.
hostile in a total.
Ollie, one more. Or Joe, one more
like,
time.
could be cold, wait and cold.
All right.
Hostile, sandworms.
Five,
Could just
five,
be
5,
angry
3, and
rude
1.
people.
5, 5, 3, 1. That sounds like +2,
+1.
+1. So Rich.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, we're gonna do the same thing. I want you to jot down the phrase that basically start describing it. So we want to start with what do you see in the astrological bodies? Let's start there.
So I decided that this is going to be it's going to be, is it a red dwarf that's like a big, huge sun that's kind of dim?
Yeah.
Big star.
Sounds like it makes sense, but why would they call it dwarf?
Because it's
A dwarf star
name,
sounds like it'd be
Little
small.
John.
I think you're thinking like a red supergiant.
Yeah, okay. It's a red supergiant. Yeah.
But Red Dwarf's a
One-
good show.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking. A red supergiant is an aging giant star that has consumed its core's supply of hydrogen fuel. Yes. So it's a big, cooler star. And they are one of the largest known stars.
Okay.
So that's the solar body that's in the system. It's going to be called Velix, Velix.
Velix.
Sounds like a new drug.
Yeah.
Does.
Yeah.
You don't have to take Velix unless if you're pregnant. No.
Might gives
May
you
cause.
might give you nosebleeds that last longer than 3 weeks.
May
If
make
your
you
erection
pregnant.
persists for longer, then
Oh, I'm gonna have to make a new paint job for our system.
Joe, how many planets do we have there? Do we have any planets? Is it all asteroids? Is it?
We're going to have 6 planets. Yeah.
Perfect.
6.
Anything in particular that stands out aside from the star and the 6 planets?
I'm
a big derelict fucking spaceship.
going to
like
say
an
that
ancient race that maybe like died out. That'd be
If
cool.
she doesn't want it, can I have that? Because that's a really cool idea.
We can put that into yours. Yes.
Thanks.
that's all yours, Harlan.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I'm going to say that there are a whole bunch of is it a nebula that's like crazy different colors?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to say visible from all of the planets in this system is just like this crazy nebula. Kind of the way that you can see the Milky Way galaxy from Earth, throughout the night sky, is just
Like a shimmering nebula or something.
yeah, totally. So it's the whole thing is backlit with this shimmering space dust.
That's
Cool.
interesting because right next to it, I mean, where we have it in the map here, it's next to Phoenix, which also has a large nebula.
Right. So it's
They're
Oh,
intermingling.
Interesting. So maybe it's you can see Phoenix or something.
yeah, exactly. Just hasn't been discovered yet.
Cool.
Can we call it Phoenix for short? It's actually PHO1N6 or 1N1X. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we're calling. Well, are we calling it
PHO5N1X.
Yeah. You would say that.
Just rolls right off.
That's the name, you know.
Okay, now we need 2 aspects based on those numbers.
Okay. So what is an example of an aspect?
So here's an example of one aspect here: treacherous system navigation. So,
Okay.
for example, if you're flying in Sententia, I would make you possibly apply an aspect to make it more difficult to navigate. Or if you're trying to escape someone, you could say, you know what? I'm going to apply treacherous navigation to the person pursuing us and hope an asteroid hits them.
Oh.
But this has to do with the system and not the individual planets, correct?
Yes.
I will
So
say
in Sententia, there's a whole bunch of asteroids and different things, so that's why.
that because the star in Velix is so huge, it exerts a really strong gravitational force on everything that's within the system. So it's kind of hard to travel around in it without getting caught up in the gravity well.
Nice.
I would say that to contrast that, you know that cool slingshot move that people use all the time in like sci-fi, where you can like use something with huge gravity to like wing around the other way.
They use it in real life too.
Yeah, totally. So there's that huge gravitational influence from this giant star.
Cool.
And what else? I think also to do with the sun. It's pretty dim in there.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Darkness.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It's like a dark
it's
galaxy
very
with the
dark.
nebulous
Pervasive
glow.
darkness.
You got like
Yeah.
all these colors from the nebula, and the fucking like this red. No, not red. Red's my color.
All right.
Some gray glow.
Good. So now you get to come up with the more creative two aspects. So these two aspects can be based on like local history, philosophy, religion, hydrography, anything.
While you're thinking there, Joe, can I just interrupt for a second? I'm
Yeah,
trying
of
to
course.
just build this thing here, the cluster map, if you will.
So I don't want you to do too much with that, Alex, because I want these to be undiscovered planets yet.
Don't you dare.
So
Alex.
like these systems are in the cluster and they know about them, but we haven't decided yet how they connect because they haven't found the slipstreams yet.
Right. That's kind of what I was going to ask. So perfect.
Right. So we'll do that if and when it needs to be done.
Excellent. Okay.
Best restaurant in the system.
You want to go to Sentencia? That'll
That's
Thank
where
you.
they got the good stuff.
7 years. Okay. So what do you got, Joe? What do you think?
They got awesome gravy.
I want there to be some crazy, intelligent alien life that is like non-traditional in terms of like body plan on one of these planets.
They're just
So
like
not like,
amorphous floating blobs.
like a
Non-human.
really clever slime race.
Yeah, and then slug throwers are really valuable there.
So they like
Stupid
mind
joke.
control slides.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, they're like they
So-
don't use like wrenches or anything, which is why they're not spacefaring creatures, but they have like really developed like
We would be, but we don't have any wrenches.
The fuck's a wrench?
I tried to use the wrench, but it just fell through my hand. Psionic.
There's like psionic race.
Ionic slime.
Ooh, Bjorn
Yeah.
said philosophy for a planet with 24-hour darkness would probably center around very bright things like fire. That'd be kind of cool.
Ooh.
I will say that
Ooh.
2 of the 6 planets that are closest into the sun are just basically like our version of Mercury, where it's like an entirely volcanic planet. It's not really, it's just kind of like molten rock.
I like
Nice.
So
Everyone's
Okay,
named
so
Joe.
let's see here. So
Everyone's
the
named
alien,
Joe.
alien presence, I think, is a good one.
mhm.
And what are we going to go for the last one? How about geologically diverse?
Yes, geologically diverse for sure.
Justin, I want to
And-
add some stuff to mine. Should I just type it out for you?
Well, wait for me to finish my thing.
No, I was typing it for him so he can just add it in the meeting. Okay.
Whatever.
Don't
I'm
touch
going to go out on a limb here, and we'll say that your 2 systems have actually had contact, but it's actually people have sent diplomats from one system to the other, but it's not a return trip. It's like a 30-year voyage.
Joe and our system? Joe and my system?
Yeah,
Nice.
we're going to say that for now.
Typical.
Okay, so it's like the people who come from Harlan's Wren system kind of lose their mind when they see those jelly beasts.
No, I don't. I think they're so
Maybe we're
fucking.
not
They're
ready for
so
that jelly.
like. Don't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
That's really
they would try and spread it in on bread.
Listen here, Googie. Yeah.
The jelly creatures cook up like a real mean moonshine, and that's the basis of the trade that they do. Between
And that would explain why your system's so rich.
Yeah.
Maybe it's getting a lot of the resources.
Moonshine.
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 I was
Okay.
gonna say it's interesting that they've got like it's a one-way visit. I wonder if they've discovered the slip to it, but they haven't discovered the slip back out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So can we say that one of the other planets in my system hosts like colonists from
I
Harlan's
like
system?
that. That's cool.
The
Yeah.
people that can't get back.
They have like the
Yeah.
Wild West of the Wild West. The Ren
What about
people
this?
have like colonized a
They
single
call it the
outpost.
dark planet.
Yeah. One outpost
Yeah, but
in
like-
Ren.
Yeah.
What about, I like maybe the alien race that's there is also in that same boat. Maybe it's like this, because of the strong gravitational pull from that star,
Yeah.
that for some reason that the physics of these slipstreams is such
Stranded
that people
them there.
tend to get there. So stranded, if you it's hard to escape.
You
You
know
have
what
to
I
have
like?
sufficient technology to be able to actually leave this.
Okay, but on the Ren side, right before the slipstream, I want to do like a Deep Space Nine style like colony that like guards the slipstream, and they're just like waiting there, like the Final Frontier type thing, and they're just like waiting. They've sent people off, and they're just like on the planet base waiting, like wonder when they're coming back, and that's where like all of the cool stories happen, like in Deep Space Nine.
I think this is what's happening. Yeah.
But I always love that about Deep Space Nine because it's basically a Wild West in space.
It sure is.
It's like the last outpost before the uncharted territory. That's such a cool concept. And I'm stealing it for Ren. I wanted to add a few quick things to mine too, though, because I like that idea, and a few ideas from Bjorn.
Okay.
Well, because I only got 2 things into mine, and you already did 3. We jumped back and forth. I want a massive derelict spaceship, like stagnant in space in the Ren system. And it's been like harvested of all resources and precious metals, and it's just like this skeleton of some ancient ship.
And that's maybe where they got their technology for their ships.
That's
they just
So and they
keep sounding like you're saying Loren system, like it's Loren.
But that's
Loren,
why they have such limited technology, because they mined it, they made a limited number of plants, and it's like patchwork. That's why all the fucking ships are like derelict, because the ships have been like around for like 100 years, they just keep getting fixed, but no new ships get built. There's no like system on Ren to build ships. It's just like old jalopy.
We don't have the infrastructure. We just melded things together.
So it's just like, and I really like that. The other one Bjorn came up with, which I really like, is that because of the asteroid fields constantly colliding, the planets, maybe 1 or 2 planets, are constantly berated with comet storms. So like on the surface, there's like comet storms, like it's like rainfall almost. Like,
or like, and they have like one of those horns, like those hurricane horns.
It's like comets incoming. It's like fucking like, and that's how they actually found that within the comets were like or asteroids there was shit as well, because they'd blow up on the surface and they'd see the precious metals and they'd be like, oh shit.
I feel like we've opened a Pandora's box here, Harlan.
Sorry, you did it.
No, it's so good. It's so good. There's something romantic about rust in space, right?
Right.
It's like space travel
and then
with rust.
The final thing is I also want on planet Ion is I want that they don't know yet. I don't know how much I can do with this, but I want the escape pod from that ancient derelict ship to have landed on Ion and been covered by like dust and debris and shit, but it has yet to be discovered.
Yeah, you know, that actually might play in very well with one of what is it, the first one, Sentencia, which has lost no, which is the one? There's one of them that has like a history.
Oh, a history.
It's
like a secret past.
It's Binaris, I think.
Binaris has like a secret technology that
only
they
leader
keep from their people.
Yeah, so maybe there's something involved there. We don't.
Whatever was on that. Here, my thinking for this ship, it was like Noah's Ark type shit. Like they sent it out, and something went wrong. We don't know, but they released an escape pod that landed on Ion and got covered over centuries and centuries and centuries, or millennia or whatever. And then it got derelict from ship. But whatever's in there, there's something fucking special.
Did they have a name for the ship?
We don't know it.
Did they find it? Did they find a name?
Yeah, on the side of it, it was
Binaris.
No, it's got to be a cool. I'll think of it. It was just
John Deere.
It was no. You know what? It just said Blackwater on it.
Blackwater.
Okay, keep that in mind because some of this actually might come back in this game. We'll see.
I just want to read this off to you guys so Joe and Harlan are kind of aware of Binaris. Only the leaders know of a technological past, and strict laws enforce this way of life.
So maybe that was, the past knew about that. They sent it away.
That's pretty cool.
And the government,
a diaspora.
Yeah, and the government created religion.
Diaspora.
That's what I said.
Diaspora. It's a diaspora.
Well, okay, so that concludes kind of the section of the game. Okay.
That was it.
So,
it was exciting. Let's keep going.
Great. We can come back and add things later, which I think is fantastic. But I want to move now into the character creation, which again is a collaborative.
That is fun.
Isn't it? I like making world building.
Okay, so fun.
I wasn't being sarcastic. It is fun. We did a whole game out of it.
Yeah.
Did you have any last ideas, actually, Joe, before we lock this up?
I mean, we're not really locking it up, like he said, that we can add to it, but whatever. Let's move along.
Oh, I didn't know you had more ideas. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
We'll
I'm
dump
pretty
them out.
tired.
We can still add it. It's not too late. We can go back.
Yeah,
I'm still
exactly. That's what I
screen
mean.
sharing it.
Okay. So then with character creation, step one is to actually start with origin kind of thing. We're talking about childhood, where your birth planet is, how that's affected you. So Alex, I don't know if you've prepared. Justin, did you prepare a little paragraph?
A little bit, yeah. I got through 3 of the 5 phases.
Oh, wow. So that's great. Okay, so what I would like people to do is, Justin, I would like you to start off with the phase 1.
Wait, what?
Okay.
And then in that time, I want Harlan, Joe, and Alex. It seems like you have yet to do that.
Well, I've written a big thing, but I was only like growing up and where it is now. I didn't. Maybe I missed something on phases.
Yeah. Okay. So in the character creation, phase 1.
I did what you asked me in that email.
What email? This is Diaspora. There's no emails.
I mean,
Not
Right,
let's do the technology of 2.
Don't ruin the illusion.
It's pretty much just basically what you did. If you wrote a paragraph, you'll be able to chunk this up into phases.
okay.
But I'll give you an example. I'll tell you. Is it okay if I say
You
the
go
first
ahead.
one?
Yeah.
Justin.
Okay, so the only thing Victor's parents, my character's name is Victor Hollis. The only thing Victor's parents wanted out of life was for their only child to have a good life.
And where did you grow up? Sorry to interrupt.
That's a good question. So I was going to say they hoped and prayed that as a resident of Sentencia, he would behave himself and would never need to see the walls of Carcerum's prison.
Okay.
Prisons. Now, I don't know if Sentencia is the best system to go with this storyline. What do you think, Chris? Do you think Reaper would be better? Or
No, Sentencia works.
yeah, okay. So
So
his parents-
Reaper is where we're going to start the campaign, probably this game.
okay.
But the only thing that I ask is that you guys come from the perspective that you are against the military. I know that's kind of hand-holding, but it makes sense that it's kind of like deciding that everyone needs to be neutral good. You need to be on the same side.
Perfect. So that works for me because later on he does actually join the military. Should I just go through in phases?
Let's start with phase 1, because after you get through one phase, you're actually supposed to come up with aspects. So it's 2 aspects per phase for a total of 10 aspects per character.
Okay.
So what I want is to start with phase 1 for Justin's character, come up with 2 aspects. Phase 2 for Joe's character, 2 aspects, so on and so forth.
Can we have a dialogue about that, or is that up to Justin?
Yeah, the aspects should be a dialogue. The actual discussion about the background should actually be your creative input. So based on what you want your background to be, we'll say, okay, how about this aspect? So starting, Justin, can you just read phase 1 one more time?
The only thing Victor's parents wanted out of life was for their only child to have a good life.
Okay, so your upbringing is something with like a nurturing home. Where were you? Where was it? Sentencia?
Can I make a request that it's not, because my phase 1 is a little bit different and it kind of speaks to Sentencia being.
Well, you guys can, you know what? It's not bad to know each other. It's not going to hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
That could work.
Okay, so Justin, you have a nurturing household, and you had you were born in Sentencia, which means that there is a lot of turmoil politically.
Yep.
Were your parents part of like the upper echelons of society?
I don't think so. I think they were kind of like really trying to make it, like struggling to make it on the high end of the lower class. And they wanted what was best for me. I'm imagining them putting me into military school.
So phase 2 is going to be like education and first career. So we're trying to think of the time before he's got maybe his first job or he's in education. So this could have been, thinking school age is the end of it.
So I was thinking as an aspect, for one of them at least, it's always best to stay out of trouble.
Ah, okay. So always best to stay out of trouble. I like that. So let's think about how we could apply that.
Respect authority?
Respect authority, yeah.
Or well spoken maybe would be easier.
Well spoken instead of it's always
because that might I like that. Let's keep that. Always best to stay out of authority. Stay out of trouble. So you kind of play by the rules a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, so this aspect, that's first of 10 aspects for Justin's character Victor, which means at any point you can basically suggest he needs to play from that aspect. So we need to actually kind of remember these types of things. as a group, because you as a player can say, you know what, with Victor's being able to stay out of trouble, that's going to help my diplomacy check here, and Victor would, you know, grab my hand and kind of guide me through this. So we need to keep in mind these other people's aspects. So that's one aspect. Can we come up with another one for Victor?
Let's see if there's anything from the community.
Here's what I want to happen. Harlan,
Yo,
I want you in the meantime to start actually coming up with your phase 1 for
that's
your
what I'm
character.
doing right now.
Okay, Joe and Alex, we're gonna actually try to come up with the second aspect, and then when Harlan goes, I'll pick someone else to come up with phase 1.
Did you have any siblings?
No, only child. But actually, that might be a good aspect. If my character knows Alex's character, we could use that.
Lonely?
Lonely?
Or I see Delton as a brother.
I was even going to say, if your parents grew up wanting the best for you, maybe you're also kind of like that to others. You want the best for others.
Want the best for others?
It's pretty broad.
Yeah, too broad.
They should be broad, but they should be applicable, right? They need to be broad, but we need to be able to apply them. Want the best for others.
Should I read my phase 1?
Sure, and maybe that'll spur some ideas.
Because it's and you'll understand kind of where I was going at the beginning. So this is what I wrote, and you can tell me if I'm way off par here. The Remus family, the Reams family, was a fend for yourself kind of family. But then again, most families were. It's similar to the government style and the system overall, very selfish, of Sententia.
Right, so it's
That's kind of why I was like...
very capitalistic kind of thing, maybe.
Now, Delton is not necessarily like that. So let's go back to Justin, Victor, and continue on those aspects, because with that in mind, because I just don't want to say, oh, we grew up and we were like best friends, if I'm kind of thinking of Delton as more of an more of an outcast.
Okay.
Mind you, we could have known each other.
Justin, do you have any aspects
Let's do
you think
that.
would apply well? Because you have an idea for your character already. Can you think of anything that you would want to add to that?
Well, Alex did give me an idea of, the fend for yourself thing, how that was the predominant philosophy of the people living on that planet. My family instilled in me that family matters.
Perfect.
That we have to stick together.
So as opposed to the general moral of that country, maybe you help family or help those close to you?
Help those close to you, yeah.
Right. So maybe that's kind of like an empathic thing. So if you're in a situation where you have to escape, you might not be able to because you're looking after someone.
Blue
Right?
Knight,
If they matter to you.
strong moral compass. He said it to me, but it might be good for you too.
Okay, so let's go now to Harlan. You ready for the phase 1?
Sure, we'll wing it.
Sorry, what did we decide was Victor's second aspect?
I'm thinking I look after the people I care about.
Great.
So that might be a good thing. That might be a bad thing. That's what you're looking for with these aspects, is things that could be used against you, but also things that could help you in a situation.
Right.
Should we be writing these down?
I don't know, Joe. Are you writing them down?
Yep.
Of course.
You're writing down everybody's?
I'm gonna write down everybody's as well.
Cool. And then you can
So
send me one of those. See how I'm delegating my GMing?
And then before we jump to Harlan, what was the first? Just label.
It's
say them
always
again, both of them.
best to stay out of trouble, and
Okay.
I look after the people I care about.
You know what? Can we say keep your nose clean? Because that sounds better as an aspect.
Keep your
And
nose
always
clean.
best.
It's always
Or-
best to keep your nose clean.
No, just keep your nose clean. It's better than staying out of trouble. It's more
Okay.
pithy.
Okay.
Okay, Harlan, let's go to you. So I'm looking for things, your home system, information about your family, upbringing.
All right,
that
so-
type of stuff.
Here's my thinking. Thorn grew up on the Outer Rim, born to Belters, who are the people who mine asteroids. Large asteroids have small colonies built around them for certain times, and the Belters are sort of just there for the life of the asteroid, which could be anywhere from like 10 to 30 years. So he was born to Belters, but they were killed in a mining accident. Because of this, he never
Ooh.
really knew his parents.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go out there and say an aspect. Or get more.
Yeah. So from that, once the asteroid was like mined to its core, he then picked up an axe and started mining. And once it was done, which was only like 5 years after that, he ended up going with like traveling belters from asteroid to asteroids. And once they went to the next one, they basically had a little coup there, and he joined basically was like a pirate ship. And for basically,
can we stop there? Can we say you're a pirate ship? When you get to the pirate ship, that'll be phase 2. That'll be your education.
Okay, perfect. So
let's stop there.
Born to belters, they died, mined, left with pirates.
So perfect aspect, I think, would be something like calloused hands.
I was gonna say always puts like what's it say, like looks out for number one, which is himself.
Okay.
Which to me could be positive, negative, right? That was what you were saying.
Yeah.
Because that way, like looking out for number one always means that he's gonna do what he wants, but at the same time, it also can be a positive and a negative. It means he's gonna make sure that he's safe, but he's also gonna be leaving people behind, possibly. Is that what you were looking for, right?
Yep, yeah, that would work if that's an aspect. Does everyone think that's a good one for his character?
Yep. And read it back again. What is it in quick two words?
Looks out for number one.
Okay. And you grew up on the Ren system?
No, I'm gonna say because the Ren system doesn't have slipstream, right? So we haven't technically visited it.
Yeah, no, we haven't.
So then I would just say whatever belts.
Sentia would have a lot of debris, so that's very possible there as well. Which would actually put you guys in the same system.
But he wasn't actually born on a planet, right? He was born like on an asteroid, so he doesn't really have. Part of the reason why, maybe that was part of the reason why, when the Belters were done, they were returning to Silentia, and they like wouldn't let him pass the gates because he's like, you don't have a birth planet.
Just as a consideration for Thorn, it's possible that he might have spent some time in Carcerum, just to keep in mind, because that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, he floats around a lot. Yeah, well, like as the later.
No, because that's a punitive. Like maybe he got caught at something being a pirate, but that's for later.
He definitely did.
Okay, so keep that in mind.
He gets caught, but he gets.
So I want something else. We need another aspect for his character. So Thorn. Let's think of some of the skills that he would develop being a miner. Maybe he's a
thief.
I was gonna say able to analyze resources very well.
Well,
yeah,
based
like
on
that.
when he met the love of his life, I'd say he was a thief because that's how he ruined it, by stealing from her. Maybe we don't know who did it. That's just up in the air. That's not for me to decide.
Justin, what are you thinking?
Well, he could do something like street urchin.
Yeah. I like that because that implies that you're an orphan, right?
How about like something about taking anything that isn't nailed down?
Yeah, a thief.
Kleptomaniac?
Sticky fingers.
Sticky fingers. Ooh, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's make it more asteroidy. Why not like rocky fingers? No, that doesn't really work.
Because we need to remember what it means.
Crumble.
I think he's got big rock fingers.
Is that someone stealing
okay.
stuff? I hear crunching. Okay.
And actually, in the mines, because he didn't want to mine, this is like how he started getting his nickname, La Bouche, which was his way to talk himself out of certain sticky situations by being able to deal with these people, being like, "Look, I don't want to mine, but you need cigarettes. I can probably find some." And he'd like go underneath the fucking little big men that are like swinging their axes, and he'd like pick their pockets and like get cigarettes.
La Bouche. Notre cigarette, s'il vous plaît.
Yeah.
Go get it. For some reason, they speak French there.
The Belters I grew up with did, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's go to Alex. Are you ready? And Joe, we're coming to you next.
Great.
Yeah, I'm pretty ready. So like I was saying before, the Reams family was a fend for yourself kind of family. Again, most families were similar to the area. So a couple of key points. My dad was a real bastard, and my mother was a real bitch. Like at the end of the day, that kind of shaped who I was. I had two older brothers. One died in a freak accident while mining on one of the worlds. And when it was bombarded with asteroid debris, and he was down with hundreds of other soldiers. One thing I wanted to say here was that everybody's kind of trained as a soldier, but soldiers do everything from mining to cooking to cleaning to building. So everybody's kind of a...
Who do you mean everybody? Everybody in our game here?
Everybody in... Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like everybody in society on Sententia.
Okay.
Well, it's a planet. It's an entire system.
Right. So not everybody is going to be, because there's
Right.
going to be people who need to do agriculture, even though it's very few and far between.
That's what I mean. But like even the farmers are military. Like
I'm going to say
okay.
Unfortunately, I know it's your system, but I would like to
No, that's fine.
The fact that as it's so far away from Reaper,
Okay.
it's more chaotic than militarized.
Then let's bring it back, and I'll say that me and my brothers were in the military, and that's kind of where I am, or where I was. I was in the military.
Okay, so you were recruited at a young age.
Yeah.
By the military. Excellent.
Yeah.
So let's talk about maybe something to do with trust, because your dad was a bastard. So maybe it's like,
Yeah.
slow to trust or cautious. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Or maybe just
Maybe
like
just tough, just tough trust, doubting. What is it called when you don't trust?
What about
someone?
just tough
Skeptical?
skin, like thick
Skeptical.
skin?
Well, no, I like the trust thing because that could be interesting, right? Because like he could meet somebody and then if he doesn't trust them, he could be like, no.
But we could say something that covers both, like a thick outer layer. It doesn't allow my emotions in or out, but it also doesn't allow trust.
Guarded.
Guarded.
You could also apply that to whatever, right?
Yeah,
you
let's
could be
say
guarded
guarded.
like physically, like or you could be guarded like I'm not going to share anything with you.
Okay, and let's say also driven, because you were trying to change your life, and I think that's why you were interested in the military.
Driven
Yes,
to what?
I am driven.
Just motivated.
Perfect.
Like a motivated person. So
What
it's
is he
like,
motivated about? Doing nothing, or doing something?
I think it has to do more with like a determination level. So like if he sets his mind to something, he might have that aspect come into play.
Yeah, and you know what?
Okay, but you know what? So it could be a negative too. What about like his mind can get fixed on things? What is it?
Fixated.
Obsessive. Yeah.
Preoccupied.
Yeah.
Motivated to the point
Consumed.
of
Obsessive. Why don't you say obsessive?
Perfect.
Okay.
That work, Alex?
yes. So guarded and obsessive.
Ooh. All right, and
It's a
Joe.
bit dark.
So when Arashid was raised by criminals, among criminals,
Oh.
she spent much of her adolescence in space on her extended family's smuggling ship. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone had a place on the crew and knew the bug out plan. We smuggled whatever was most profitable, and we were great at it.
Cool.
I can see why we got together.
Oh.
Okay, so let's think here. Well, like a survival expert.
I
or
was
something.
gonna say like
Enterprising?
I would
Ooh, I
say
like that
more
better.
like but I would say with the bug out specifically being like not resourceful but like always having a contingency driven. What's that word where you like have a plan?
Plan ahead, or
Yeah, like planned. But there's a better word for it. Like
yeah, we could say like things 2 steps ahead.
yeah, that.
That's good. And then I also wanted to emphasize that even though we lived a life of crime, that we had a really tight family unit.
Okay.
So I don't know how to make that
Moral
into-
code. You had like a code of ethics, code of honor,
Code.
which would make sense when I stole from you and you got really pissed off. Because it's like I steal from everybody, but you don't steal from family type shit. You know, like the mafia.
Joe, can you say what you said one more time? So you're saying that very close knit family, right?
Yeah, a tight
Yeah.
family unit.
What about well connected?
That's good.
Yeah, that is good.
Because
That doesn't have a negative, though, does it?
Okay, so but how about a reputation? Because a
Yeah,
reputation
yeah,
can
that's
mean that
good.
you're well connected, but it could
Yeah.
also mean that you've done things in the past that could bite you in the ass.
What was the first one? Sorry, I missed it.
Reputation.
one
Questionable
of them.
reputation.
I don't remember the first one was.
Shit.
Oh, what was
Things
that?
2 steps ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, so reputation and things 2 steps ahead.
Great.
I'm still not. I don't get the reputation one.
Yeah, is that bad? Reputation?
Yeah, that's not
It
quite.
can be bad. It can be good.
Right. So
the fact
maybe
that-
people in the underworld would know my name and be able to cut me a deal. Or else, like, if we get in trouble with the law, maybe they'll be like, oh, we've been looking to book you for a while.
We know your family name.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
know
more
who
like
you are.
so more like notorious.
Oh,
Yeah.
That could also be pretty
Someone.
good too, though.
Is
Especially
that-
if you're stealing with mainly the underworld, that's only going to be beneficial, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking more
Notorious
like mafia,
win?
like you can't get out. You know what I mean? Like you're once you're in, you're out type shit. Where like, what's the word?
Trapped? Probably not that.
No, there's
when you can't get
I
out.
like has a reputation.
Has a reputation.
It can be a good reputation. It can be a bad reputation.
I think
I feel
as
like
your
both are
character,
going to be beneficial.
you should have veto power. Final say. Okay, phase 2. Starting out, this phase describes the character picking a direction in life. It might be a career choice, or an education, or it might be a circumstance forced upon him or her. But it should be a formative choice that establishes who the character has decided to be. Career decisions, often, that kind of thing.
Pirate.
Okay.
That was it.
So a pirate. So that's easy. Okay. So you've been a pirate in the formative years of your life, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not
So
formative,
after I left the
thing.
Belters, I tried to get back maybe to Silentia, and because I had no home planet, they were like, no. I banded up with the Belters, and we ended up like scavenging empty ships at first, and then attacking a few full ships. And this is how I met Win as well, like through like sort of back channels, because we're basically on either sides of it, sometimes the same side. And yeah. Pretty straightforward.
Okay, so pirate. So let's get two things there. Cutthroat, like obvious pirates. Okay, so cutthroat would be a good aspect. What about good navigates by the stars? So something.
I don't see him as a navigator. It seems a bit more aloof, more like gambling, like more like risk taker, like something
Risk taker.
Distinctive?
distinctive.
Impulsive.
Goes with his gut.
Gut instinct.
Are these supposed to be positive and negative aspect as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be both.
I like. Well, maybe not cutthroat then. Because I liked all those a lot more. What were they again?
Impulsive.
Impulsive, gut instinct.
I like the gut instinct a lot, actually.
Goes with his gut.
But I
Flies
don't,
by the seat. Flies by the seat of his pants.
Those are both good.
yeah, but yeah, I'll say
But
goes
gut
with
instinct.
Goes with
is
gut
cool.
because it could be like good or bad, right? Be like,
Right.
I like this guy, and then you don't. And then the other one I was trying to get across was, fuck, you said one, and it really made me think of a good one.
Gut instinct. Flies by the seat of his pants.
What did you say, Joe? You said distinctive,
Instinctive?
instinctive,
Impulsive.
impulsive. No, because that's for the same thing.
Flies by the seat of his pants.
Oh, I was gonna say it doesn't seem. Oh, gambling, like sort of risk taking.
Risk taker.
Is that
Okay,
sort of the
risk
same thing as gut?
Great.
No, risk taker's fine.
Risk taker. Done.
Taker.
Okay, good. Alex, the education or first career type situation. Was he in space ever? Or is he not in space?
Yes, absolutely. Military. I have here military working on the outer rim. Basically guard post.
Okay, so
But that being
combat-
said, the way I want to weave it with my obsessiveness is kind of an obsessiveness with arming. Well, I don't really know. Okay, can I kind of tell him what we were thinking, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely.
How I kind of am always getting arms from her. She's dealing arms to me. So I'd like to weave my obsessive compulsion
Okay.
to
You're a
get
gun nut?
arms. But I'm also in the military. So I'm kind of like under the table, black market kind of
You're a
smug.
collector.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like anything. We could say later on it's arms, but I like that. Yeah. I don't want to call you
Arms collector.
Yeah.
I like just collector because that can be a lot more broad. You can see like a special kind of, I don't know, tool or kit or something, and then that will be like, I don't know.
I think I prefer arms collector personally because it means it would be more focused on like those weapons specifically. If you
Yeah, you know what? And it
Let's
would
do that.
allow for us to be like, okay, you see this fancy gun and you're really tempted to steal it.
Totally. Okay.
Okay, so Justin, let's go to you next.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
that was only one for Delton.
yeah, we need a second one.
Okay.
So
What else
arms-
did you learn in the military?
Well,
Disciplines?
one thing we can actually jump back to mine because I was
Yeah, do that.
imagining
I'll be
my
right back.
character in the military as well,
Mhm.
and but my character maybe wasn't in it as he was willfully in it, but so maybe they were friends. Maybe we made a good connection. Could we do like an aspect where it's like I watch Dalton's back,
We have.
something like that?
I look after the people I care about already.
Yeah.
Did you like the military?
No, and I'm thinking now, like, well, none of us are in the military anymore because there's
Yeah.
like it's a rebellion thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that we met in the military, Dalton,
Right.
and we became friends.
Okay, so in the military,
Unwilling friends.
your experience in the military was bad or good?
The Space Navy was good up until I made a bad decision.
Okay, what was that decision?
I chose to chase a band of pirates instead of following my
So you didn't follow orders.
yeah.
And I joined you.
Yeah.
We did.
And we were
Yeah.
the pirates. We knew each other all.
That would work.
Okay, so why don't we say deserter?
Deserter.
Ooh, I like
I
that.
love dessert.
Deserter.
Mm.
And what did we say for my phase 2? One was
Yours
arms
was
dealer? Our arms collector.
arms collector.
And if I'm
You have
gonna
the
be
same one, deserter. Can you both be deserters?
Well, yeah, I'm thinking we need something an aspect that shows what we actually learnt in the military.
I'd like to be a pilot.
You're a pilot?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So yeah, flying
Next.
experience.
A flying experience. I was just gonna say it.
Okay.
I don't know how that's negative, but we can massage these a little bit later, right?
Yeah, we can. Well, like later on, we could use that aspect as like maybe it was a negative flying experience, and when we roll,
Maybe
we
he's
say,
the
you know,
worst
one
pilot.
time, one time you were in a situation like this where you actually witnessed someone get hit by an asteroid and you're actually freezing up. It's all about how you spin it.
Cool.
Okay, so Justin, we need one more for your character, right?
Yeah.
What was your training in the military?
Well, I was thinking pilot, but I can go gunner, like dedicated gunner.
So what, instead of saying flight experience, we'll say has seen combat.
Great, that's good.
Okay.
So that way you could be like shell shocked at sometimes if we feel, or it can be that you're experienced and you can keep your cool.
Wait, that's for Victor?
That's for
Yeah.
Victor. Okay, Thorn.
Yes.
Education / next stage in your life. First career.
Yeah, we did that already.
Or,
remember?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
goes
And
with
then
his gut,
finally,
risk taker.
Vin.
When she started dealing arms with her sister,
Criminal.
Sorry?
Criminal. That seems like a good one.
Yeah. And I would probably put in there some kind of familiarity with the things that I'm dealing with. So
Arms dealer.
that's good or bad.
Arms dealer could be both. You know.
Cool.
Gun, something.
Gun one.
Gunner.
Gun dealy.
Gun,
Okay.
boom.
Okay. Phase 3, moment of crisis. Now players will write a description of an event that created change in the character, something that the character would talk about later.
When and I got arrested, we
pals
met,
and
we
drinks.
fell in love, we got divorced. Done.
Okay, so that's your two.
That's
So heartbroken.
both-
I think is a good one.
two birds.
Heartbroken for both of you?
Yes.
And we've both been arrested.
Ooh, okay. Trouble with the law and heartbroken.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, Justin, what was your moment of crisis?
When I found out my parents served my sentence for my deserting the military.
Oh, wow. So guilt-ridden.
Guilt-ridden, yeah.
And one more. What's the, like when you're trying to prove yourself and you're trying to make right? What's that?
Oh,
Vindication?
Repentant.
You know, searching for vindication.
Penance. Oh.
Yeah, you want vindication.
Redemption.
Redemption, yeah.
What was
Seeking
the first
redemption.
one?
The first one's I've made horrible mistakes.
Okay.
Guilt.
And seeking redemption.
Yeah.
I like that. Alex, what was your moment of crisis?
So my one brother died. My other brother disappeared. He was in the military with me, and he took off on his own. I'm assuming it's something like he's someone of like treason, but I'm obsessed with finding him, which is why I'm thinking Justin and I took off. So say that's
why you went with me, even though you said it was something else, because this is like a secret.
yeah.
What your secret goal is.
So I'm thinking, I was just had it. Not in search, but something along those lines.
Let's complete your mission. But that kind of goes with obsessive again.
Maybe always
Seeker, like in Harry Potter.
seeker. Yeah.
Always
Maybe
has his
I'm
eyes
like
open.
delusional.
Delusional?
Did he actually disappear, or was he really my brother?
my brother.
Come back to
Dis-
me.
Paranoid
disillusioned?
delusions.
Disillusioned would be the word you're looking for.
Disillusioned.
What does that mean, though?
It means that you had like a goal and you believed in something, and then all of a sudden you're not sure anymore, and you lost faith.
Perfect, because the military was like where I thought I could stay, but now I'm like disillusioned.
So
Yes, it is. Joe.
disillusioned with the military or disillusioned with just disillusioned?
Say
Just we keep it vague, so it's like
yeah.
you know, if there's a religious check or something, it's not going to be easy for him.
We only need one for phase 3, or you want 2?
No, you need another one.
Okay, I'll come back. Come back to me.
Okay. We've done phase 3 for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, phase 4, sidetrack. So this is something that, you know, something unexpected happened. Big, something out of the blue. Something that maybe didn't follow your plot line and it just added something new to your story. Maybe just decided.
Yeah, so I stole from Win. Well, okay, my pirate buddies came back and convinced me that my wife had a good, like, shipment. And they were the ones that were like, you got to take it, you got to steal it. And I was like, no, but, like, I gave them the key or something. And they did steal them, and then I, like, told you about it, and that's when you, like, dumped me. But what's
Okay, we could say
I thought that was covered in the last one, though.
moments of
Heartbroken.
weakness.
Well, then, the I guess, rather, let's say just the last one. Oh, yeah, that's heartbroken, isn't it?
Something altogether unexpected.
Influenced by familiarity? No. Influenced by...
I want something to do with, like, my
Peers?
past. Like, my pirate past, they, like, made me try to kill a kid and I wouldn't do it or something like that. Something, like, morally, that even though I was pretty, I wouldn't do it.
Strong moral compass.
Yeah. Well, I guess, like, yeah. It's tough the way this is worded because it says, like, how your other person's life affects you. It says this phase.
Okay, here's what happened. Your buddies came back. They're like, "Hey, we know you're in with this chick. We need all of her cargo." And part of what went down during the robbery was that you were being asked, essentially with what was going down, was that you had to try to kill my sister because she, like, realized what was going down and you couldn't do it. And so
but I never told you.
Crew.
And I never told you either. Because, like, the choice was either I kill, like, the sister or they get the cargo. And, like, you lost your cargo, but the truth was I wouldn't let your sister die for it.
So how do we make that into an aspect?
Don't know. Let's figure that out in chat while these guys figure that out. So
Okay.
that we're not wasting time.
Justin, number 4 for you.
So what is the thing for this one?
So something out of the blue that happened that changed your kind of...
And out of our control.
How do you feel about getting stranded, Alex?
Yeah, totally. I was thinking, and then I feel guilty about getting you stranded because I'm thinking it's all my choice.
Yeah, could do. Yeah.
Or maybe we're both just stranded.
Well, so what would we have to deal with if we were stranded?
Finding
Near-death experience.
home? Yeah, I mean, I'm struggling here. I
This
have
one's a tough
difficulty wrapping my head around this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's just
Okay.
tough. Like,
Okay,
it's
Bjorn-
tough just to distill it down to one aspect. That's what's
Bjorn-
tough.
Bjorn just gave me a great idea, and I think I'm going to go with for my phase 3 aspect is paranoid.
Perfect.
You know, especially because I'm an arms
Good.
collector. Maybe they're prohibited arms in the.
Paranoid
Okay.
gun nut.
And then, should that play in somehow? The fact that I'm so paranoid, maybe I believe that you're actually in on.
Sheldon, what about
You
if you
know where my
sustained
brother
an
went?
injury or something, like something out of the blue?
Oh yeah.
You know, severe trauma. So
Grievous injury.
yeah, grievous injury, and we can say that, you know, your right arm sometimes twitches or something like that. I know it's kind of very specific, but it could have had an aspect where they actually did surgical implantation. So surgical, you know, that could have negative aspects because, you know, if we're near a giant magnet, that would suck. You know,
Is this something that we're both sharing? So like if we got stranded and impacted with something in a small ship and we had to do surgery on each other, that's kind of like fucks with your mind a bit, right? So maybe it's like a little bit of psychological and physical injury. I don't know. How do we work that in?
Strong bond with. We could write strong bond with each other.
We both lose fingers. We don't know whose fingers are whose.
No,
So we end
no,
up
but like
with other problems.
we've been through shit together.
Yeah.
Which
Strong bond.
I think we've been through shit might be more negative in some ways, which would be good.
Strong brotherhood bond, or we've been through shit.
Brotherly bond, something like that.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna keep pushing.
Yeah.
Keep thinking about it.
I think
Last
I'm going to go
final
with
phase,
lesser. I think I'm going to go with lesser of two evils as my aspect, because basically the pirates gave me the choice between my wife's goods or her sister's life, and I took that one, which lost me her, and I never said anything, so I had to swallow that as well. And I let Win always believe that there was only the one choice.
Win is going totally off of this idea of the whole issue with her sister and Thorn. Instead, I'm going to talk about her love for like reading, and the fact that she wants to get the hell out of Dodge and change her life. She doesn't want to be an arms dealer anymore. So she has got a desire for adventure. And
Wouldn't that be more phase 5 though?
Oh, I don't know.
Phase 5, I'm going to tell everybody that one of their aspects, so it's on your own in the final phase, right? Briefly about where the character is now, what his immediate needs and goals.
Okay.
Everybody's going to have Rebel as their aspect, one of their aspects for phase 5, because you guys are all part of the same force here. And we'll learn about that. If you guys want to come up with the last where you are now, before we get to the first scene, you guys can do that. But I propose we move right into the mid-game post.
Sure.
Woo!
Now it's time for the mid-game post! That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of the game where we stop the action and we jump over to the Facebook and we ask you guys, the audience, if everyone's having a good time. Yay! Hope everyone's having fun, having a blast. This is a really cool way to play a game. I've never done it this way, so I'm really excited to dive into this. We are going to be posting on the mid-game, or on the Facebook group, the mid-game post, which is basically a question that we ask you guys, and depending on how many people answer correctly, we roll a die, and whoever got it correctly, and that was their number, they're going to win experience points. So, Chris, what's the question?
Am I mistaken? Did Alex post our cluster?
No, but it is.
Don't. Okay, but
I'm not going to.
Okay, because I was thinking, anyone who could name 3 of the systems.
Okay, I don't even if I can.
At least one has to be one of the new systems.
Okay, so do we want me? That's okay. One new system and 2 old systems. There you go. That's fair.
Okay. Whew.
Okay, and yeah, it's kind of challenging, but I think it can be done.
It is challenging to think of so many aspects.
I know, there's 10. That's a lot, eh?
It's a lot to keep track of.
Name 3 of the INVICTUS cluster systems. Let's do it. Posted. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a good time. Lots of great comments and questions and feedback in the group. It is very tough to think of all these.
Yeah.
So what am I?
But it's weird. It's like it's good that Joe, you're making the master list, because we're gonna need to be able to have other people have to use them sometimes when they don't want to, and that'll be interesting.
It will be interesting.
When we come back, we're going to be doing the actual campaign. We're going to start with that, and with the character creation, there are further steps. One of them is actually coming up with your skill pyramid. So just so you guys know, you have an apex skill. So the highest amount that you'll add to your rolls is a +5. There's a whole skill list inside the Diaspora game. So as we play, you're going to make a choice. Are you up to your pyramid? So for example, if you want to do a spot check and you want a skill that'll apply for that, you have to decide how much you're going to add to that, and we'll start filling in your pyramid as we go in order to just push the game along. After, I'll have you guys fill it out outside the game. So again, it's a pyramid. So you have an apex skill of 5, then you have 2 at 4, 3 at 3, 4 at 2, and 5 at 1.
Nice.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Go through 2, 1.
The only ones that I want you to really decide upon are the ones that are going to actually affect your health, which I'm going to look up now as you guys continue on.
Perfect. Well, there's still things posting. people seem to know the answer. At least a few of them do. So we're supposed to have 10 of these, so 2 per phase then.
Yep.
Okay.
We don't. I'm missing 1, 2, 3 for Victor. One of those is I'm missing Victor's 4th tier.
Okay.
Missing 1 of Thorn's 4th tier.
Here are all of mine, just so people can know. I'm going, looks out for number 1 in Sticky Fingers because of my Belter past. Goes with Gut and Risk Taker because of my Pirate past. Trouble with the Law and Heartbroken because of meeting and then falling for What's-Her-Face. Lesser of Two Evils, and I'm going to go Liar for the twist, which is the whole sister thing that I did with her. And then moving on to a new life, and I don't know what 10 is because you're going to assign it to us, you said?
Rebel. It's Rebel.
Oh, Rebel. Okay.
So we're moving on to a new life.
We'll call it like escaping. Like I'm trying to get away from it all.
Okay.
Escape. Yeah. There we go. Those are my 10.
Wants to escape his past.
Yeah. Well, because
No, great.
fuck it.
Dalton, I don't have your 4th tier either.
4th tier, you mean phase 4?
Phase 4.
I think we're using. Can I use stranded? Is that like too vague?
Well, I was thinking something along the lines of survival, but yeah.
Is it? Should we be sharing them?
Well,
Phase 4?
yeah. I mean, we can share strong bond.
Okay, how about this? If yours is survival, because you tend to be much more of an optimistic person than me, yours is survival, mine is stranded. It kind of does go side and side.
Okay.
It's just how you look at it, right?
Yep.
We're in a survival mode. We're in stranded mode.
Sorry, Dalton is stranded.
Stranded. Is there only one that we've got for the?
I need another one.
Damn it.
Figure it out. All right. Meanwhile, mid-game, we have a lot of correct answers, so I think we should get some of these right. So we got Michael Carl Weber said Reaper, Phoenix, and Ren. Rich Brown said Centennia, Reaper, and Ren. Godpool said Ren, Sentia, and Phoenix. Bjorn said Reaper, Ren, and Binaris. Zia said Ren, Phoenix, and Cestia, and Paul said we have about 7 of these.
Yeah, they're all correct.
It
1,
sounded
2,
like
more or
you
less.
said Cestia.
6. We got 7. So I'll roll a 1d10 and re-roll on anything that's not those. All right, here we go, guys. Good paying attention, by the way.
Poor William, his Wi-Fi's cutting out.
So we got an 8,
Hopefully
which does
I heard
not work.
that.
Let's re-roll. 5. That's 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That goes out to the one, the only Zia.
Nicely done.
Fantastic. Well done, guys. Very good. I'm surprised that you knew these names. I don't even remember.
None of them chose Velix.
Actually, Dustin said Virix.
Virix. I think someone else did.
Wasn't
too.
meant to be.
That's
Well, maybe
okay.
that's the only one I saw.
It's because you talked so much more about yours.
Phase 4, I was thinking also, for me, an aspect hopeless.
Oh, I like that.
Do it. Who doesn't
Not
also
that-
have aspects? You didn't
Not in
figure
a
out all your-
whiny way, but more of like a negative.
You didn't
We
figure
need
out
your
yours,
we
did
need
you?
your final one. We need your one looking forward.
Justin, I went with
Alex.
hopeless.
I like that.
And you didn't do all yours, did you, Joe?
I'm missing my middle 2, which I think will be. Let me see. Oh, I want to be kind of a femme fatale character, so I would say, what is that like? Maybe like relies on seduction or like has like issues with men or something along those lines.
What? Seductive. Or...
Sex sells, maybe.
Can that be a negative? and a
You're
positive?
better at choosing the aspect names. Sex.
Just sex.
Just sex.
That's all it is.
That's your stunt.
Man. What would
Sexual
that be?
influence.
It's got to be a positive and negative. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? In Fallout, you can take like
Sexual
you do more
feeling.
damage against one sex, but then the other gives you more damage. So like, if you were say easier to persuade men, but women disliked you more, or vice versa, women
Yeah.
were more comfortable with you, but then something that encompassed that. So you got an
Well, I
advantage.
think we could
with one
play it as a
disadvantage.
negative in a number of different ways.
That's
We
what I
just
mean.
keep
Like, it gives you an advantage and a disadvantage.
So
Probably sex.
I'll say sex cells then.
Or Black Widow.
Well, I
Dangerous
don't kill my
Was it-
partner.
I'm just reading
Is it like-
Dustin.
Lady Killer? Is that
That's the one
term,
from
or-
Fallout. Yeah, Lady Killer.
The Lady Killer, yeah.
Because basically it's
Um,
like you do well with the ladies, but you also get hurt more by them or something like that. I can't remember.
Playboy,
I guess that'd be the opposite. Yeah.
a playgirl.
Persuasion.
And what's another thing? So I use sex. I'll say I use sex to get what I want.
Your sex, take it what you want.
And I will say, what else maybe gained me this reputation? After I went to prison, I had to take my business really on the sly. I got my own ship. Maybe I'm proud of my own belongings.
I was even gonna say, if you're
Possessive.
dealing arms,
'Cause that's,
why not? If
Sorry,
you're
what were you
dealing arms, why not go with something like proficiency, something with like your vast knowledge of the power of weapons or something.
How do you make that into a negative?
Yeah, no, I like possessive because then it makes it seem like when I stole from you, it was all the
Okay.
worse.
I like proud of my own possessions
Yeah.
because that can be like negative because when someone fucks with them, that's going to
Consider-
be a bad thing. But everything that I own is in good condition.
Consider our skills. So rank our skills. Our aspects is the ones that we've come up with, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why is it there 10, but we've only come up with 8? We're missing 2.
8 what?
The final one is rebel, and you also need one for the fifth or your fifth tier or whatever that I'm calling it.
So for the pyramids, the skills pyramid that you're going to be using here. So how it normally works is at this point, but for the ease of time, we're going to just skip it a little bit. At this point, you would actually pick, starting with a category, basically a +5, you get 1, and that's your apex skill. It's the thing you're best at. And then working down from that, you would pick 2, that would be at a +4, 3, that'd be a +3, 4, that'd be a +2, and 5, that'd be at a 1. But most importantly for now, what you need to know is your resolve, your stamina, and assets. So resolve directly affects your stress trackers for composure. So things like seeing Cthulhu, you need to have a high resolve. Stamina is your health, and assets is your overall wealth. Someone who has no training, so not even a level 1 on your pyramid, would start with 3 boxes in each of these. Okay, and it would move up correspondingly. So, for example, someone who has a skill of 1 or 2 has 4 boxes. 3 or 4 has 5 boxes, and if it is your 5th, your apex, your highest one, you'd have a total of 6 boxes in any of these categories. Just so you're aware. Did I just make a lot of
No, that totally makes
sounds
sense.
going on?
My
Yeah.
question is, can we revise these when we go back and finish building the character, essentially? Or do I have to say, I choose Resolve 3 for this session, and that's what's going to be from now on?
So when you level up, you can actually start moving things around. The only thing I'm concerned about is if you guys do get into combat situation, and then you say, you know what, I would have died, so I'm going to make my skill for stamina in my apex, and now I survive.
Sure. I just mean in the time between this session and next session.
Sure, yeah. Because we'll just treat this one as a trial game
Okay.
in a way.
Anyone know how they want to allocate their points? I'm going to mark them all down for everyone.
How many do we get off the bat?
So again, you have 15 total.
5, 4,
Okay.
4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
But that's skills, right? Not health,
Well,
composure, and wealth.
Those are based on your skills. So your
I see,
total
right.
health, your stress trackers for each of these categories, your composure, your health, and your wealth, are based on those skills that I just talked about.
And the skills are based on.
But for example, if you took the skill of stamina and made it your apex, your highest one, so you give it the 5, that means whenever you did a stamina-based roll, you get +5. And in addition to that, you would have a total of 6 boxes to be tracked on your stress trackers. So that means that you're really hard to kill. And what's neat about this, it's an interesting system.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and call myself Resolve 3, Stamina 2, and Assets 2. Assets,
so
assets 3.
in the category of 3, you get 5 boxes in that stress tracker.
Yeah.
And then 2s, you would get 4 boxes.
Okay.
So, write that out.
I'm lost.
Okay, so let me help you out.
I'm looking at the character.
Do you want a
sheet.
5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1, or a 0 for stamina?
Let's go for 3.
So if you have a skill of 3 in stamina, that means that for your health, the boxes that you can check off for your health, you'd have a total of 5 boxes.
So you start with 3, and then you add your
So
rank.
yeah. Exactly. Well, kind of. No. You start with 3 automatically. For 1 or 2, you get 4. For 3 or 4, you get 5, and for a 5, you get 6.
But do I have to put something in ranks 3 skills?
Yeah, you have to pick one of your 3 categories. So you have 3 options for a skill that will give you a +3. One of those is taken now. So now you only have 2 more skills that can be at a +3 level.
It is a skill pyramid.
It's a skill pyramid, yes. Not a big deal. We'll make it work as we go if you guys would rather just get it.
Anyone have any idea about Resolve, Stamina, or Assets?
Yeah, so why don't we say this? Justin, how high do you want your health to be? Is that
Well, I'm going with 5 stamina.
So 5 stamina, that means you have a 6 in your, and that's your apex.
Yep.
So that means you have 6 boxes you can check off. If you get injured, you can get injured 6 times.
Assets,
Okay.
Resolve? Are you rich?
Assets are going to be 0.
Okay.
Okay, so that means you still start with 3, but you're going to have a -1 to anything that has to do with wealth. Anything.
Okay.
Yep.
And what's resolve?
Resolve is composure, so kind of like
Your stress track.
yeah, your insanity almost.
Okay.
I said if you get shot, for example, you have to check your resolve.
Okay.
You might be shooken.
Yeah, resolve I'm going to put at 3.
Okay, so resolve of 3 puts you
4
at 5.
boxes?
Oh,
You gave me 5, yeah.
5. Yep.
5. Okay. Perfect. So those are the important ones, and then the other ones we can allocate.
Yeah, as we roll, you can decide if you want to use one of your other positions.
Okay.
Alex? So here's my question, Alex.
4.
Do you
Let's go
4
with 4.
for health?
Well, I've already chosen health, I thought. What the fuck is going on? I'm so bad at this. I don't get it. I'm looking at characters. I'm looking at the rulebook here.
Just listen.
I'm listening.
Alex, do you see on your character sheet where it has stress boxes?
Yes.
You
No,
see
no, I
one-
don't. No, I don't. I don't see this.
Okay, so don't worry about the character sheet then.
Okay.
Okay, so you have skills. Your skills will affect how much damage you can take, how much stress you can handle, and how much money you have.
Right.
Okay, so the skill for your health is based on your stamina. So if you have a high stamina, you get a high health. So if you want to allocate your +5, which is your highest skill level you can have, you can do that. That means you'll have a lot of health. Do you want to use 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1 for your stamina skill?
What? I thought I told you this before. 3.
Okay, so then let's go on to your composure.
Yes. Composure.
Composure.
You mean your
Okay,
resolve?
so for your,
So now I get 5, 4, 2, or 1 for composure?
No, you see there's 3 3s in the pyramid, so you've used one of the 3s for your stamina. So you can
Okay.
still use a 5 and 2 4s and 2 3s and 4 2s and 5 1s.
right, so your composure is based on your resolve, your skill level and resolve. You
Let's
can keep
go
that.
with a 5 for composure.
You can, okay. So that gives you 6 boxes in resolve, or sorry, in composure. So you want to put a 5 in resolve. That's what you mean.
Yep. And how rich are you?
Not. Let's say one of the ones.
Okay, perfect. So,
So I
one
just put
allows you to have
3.
3. Yeah, you got it. In wealth.
Right. So I've got, right now I'm showing 5 in health, 5 in composure, and 3 in wealth.
Sounds good.
Boxes. Even though I've chose 3, 4, and 5.
You got
5, 3, and 1.
5, 3, and 1.
it. Okay.
There's no sense to it.
Don't worry about it.
Joe's got it. Okay, Harlan.
Yo.
Let's do you. Do you want to use any of your skills as health, composure, or wealth?
Yeah, I'll do rank 3 stamina, rank 2 resolve, and I'll do rank 1 assets because I don't think I'm very rich.
Okay, so can you write down your corresponding stress trackers?
Yep.
Cool. We're good.
Yep.
Justin, you're good. Joe, you're good.
Yep.
All right. So, let's begin. The game, episode 1, is called The Demon You Know. The IPC, Invictus Planetary Confederation, has created technology advancement that will allow near faster-than-light travel without the necessity for slipknots. This will allow them to pervade and more pressingly militarize even the most far-reaching systems. We have tried without success to acquire this tech, but have failed in all attempts. A groan and nervous comments roll over the familiar crowd of so-called rebels gathered. Not much to look at. Ex-laborers from Carcerum, destitute farmers whose crops have been destroyed by radioactive off-gassing of IPC Galactic-class vessels. A baby cries in the distance. But all talented, dangerous men and women. They all, no matter how you name them, they all have a reason to be there. But none would be here if it weren't for General Gara. We have a last effort to delay, and that is to destroy the prototype. Can someone keep that baby quiet? And they all turn and look at the baby and realize how cute she is and can't stay mad.
Bless her.
Where's this baby crying from? That sounds German.
Sonny wouldn't understand a thing about being nice to children.
What are you talking about?
brought
I
a
was very
baby-
nice to children.
who brought a
Do you not
baby
remember
to
that
a
children I
rebel
saw once at the
meeting?
belt? I kicked him only once. He deserved it more, and you know that.
Oh, bye, Rowan. Okay.
When I was a baby, my parents would have slapped me if I did that.
And
General
look how
Gara
you turned
continues.
out.
Is it
We have a
Gar?
last-
G-A-R?
Gara, G-A-R-A.
That's how I spelled it.
Like, we have a last effort to delay, and that is to destroy the prototype. In 7 days' time, a ship by the name of SS Glory leaves from Port All-Star. The SS Glory will attempt the first faster-than-light jump without the use of a slipknot from All-Star in the Reaper system to Sentencia, something that's never been done before. General Gara stands barely 5 foot tall. You feel that you are listening to the address of a giant. A team of 4 will enter through a maintenance hatch with the help from our inside man. Gara gestures to a fit silver-haired man you know to be Jesper Blateman. The team will be sporting the uniforms of 2 ensign-ranking mechanics, an armed envoy, and 1 engineering officer. They will find and assemble the 4 pieces necessary to construct a Class 3 payload and place it find the engineering deck and find the location of the port nacelle in the Jeffries tube to locate the prototype and plant the electronic warfare payload. I've asked you all here as I know you are trusted and eager to stop the IPC. This is the last chance. I warn you that as slim a chance as we have of even getting to the port nacelle and planting the payload, your chances of escaping are smaller. Escape pods are located not far from the engineering deck, but you can only use them in the few moments before detonation, as it'll bring attention to the fact that something's not right. And a silence washes across the crowd. Someone here must be willing, or else consider yourself the newest members of the IPC.
I'll go.
A man stands up. You recognize him as Victor Hollis. What do they see when you stand up, Victor?
They see a thick, stocky man, dark skin, grizzly beard, and he looks around with tired eyes, and his eyes land on the general, who stands about a foot and a half shorter than him. He says, "I've worked with the military before. I know the ins and outs of their ships. Now, this sounds like a new ship, but I think I could figure my way around. Consider me in."
Do you have experience, Justin, with any mechanics, arms training, anything? I guess we know that you've had arms training, right?
Yes. So close combat was my specialty in military school, but I do also I am also a gunner.
Mm-hmm.
But tactics was also a high score on my test.
So she looks at you, Victor, and she says, "Victor, you would make a fine armed envoy." And she throws you a uniform.
I catch it, sit back down.
You said it was armed envoy 2 ensign officers?
And so an envoy,
Yeah.
2 ensign officers,
Yeah.
and an engineer.
Engineer. Okay.
Is there anyone else? We need someone with technical training, perhaps experience on a starship.
Well, if Victor's in, you can count me in. And I stand up. And I cock and load my hand weapon. Stick it in my...
I knew I could count on you, and she throws you a uniform. You recognize it to be the ensign's uniform.
Damn right.
So as an ensign, is that like engineer?
That's a
like the
low-level
lowest.
rank.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So you will actually, you notice that even on the ensign's uniform, you know that it's actually all engineers, all people who would work in engineering. Ensigns would not be a leader in an engineer deck. They'd be someone who would be kind of the gopher, someone who is not in charge, not a commanding officer. So we have like an engineer who would be a commanding officer rank, and then we have ensign ranks.
Thorn is sitting like near the back, like inconspicuously with his collar up, and he's eyeing Wynn, who's sitting near the front, who doesn't know that he's there, watching
Jasper-
these people stand up.
Jasper sees you and actually makes eye contact with you because Jasper used to work, he's the inside man. He's worked for the military for years, and at times you guys have actually been on either side of this conflict. Jasper has come over to your side, to the rebels, but you have a certain history there, and he looks you in the eye kind of defiantly as saying, "Come on, I dare you to try this."
In the meantime, tall, bombshell type woman, very chesty, unfolds herself from where she's been sitting.
Hello, Thorn.
She's wearing blue leather pants and sunglasses that are inappropriate for the fact that they
It's
are
really
on the
dark in
side.
here. Why do you do
Yeah.
that?
And she says, "Well, I think I can probably be of some help."
General Gar looks at you and knows your history. You will need to be as inconspicuous as you can be. Is that something you can do?
I can be a chameleon when I need to be, and I know my way around a starship.
And she looks around the room and sees a lot of elderly people and tired rebels, and she concedes and throws you a uniform. Don't make me
Thank
regret
you.
this.
No, of course not.
And Thorn, seeing that Wynn's stood up, sort of perks up from the back. No! And he stands up and he points. Wynn, you can't go on this. It's a suicide mission. He said so himself.
What do you care?
What do you mean? What do I care? I care a great deal. It's for the IPC, of course. It's not something that we can stand for. It's meant to be this terrible. Fine, Jesper. Give me a fucking uniform. And I walk up, like, hesitantly, but also begrudgingly, not looking at Wynn, towards the front.
General Gar is not at all fazed by your reaction. She hands it as if there was no outcry and says, "Thank you."
Down.
Hands you the uniform. All the crowd stand up at this time, knowing that it's the time for dismissal. And as they walk out, they look at you with a mixture of admiration and pity. And worry, because they know that their last hope, their last chance at really overcoming the military resides in this ragtag group of of people.
They look at us like they pity us. There's nothing to pity, I say out loud as they walk out. Listen, this is... we are... And I slap Delton on the back. We are the best of the best.
Listen, Thorn. Don't be a thorn in my side. But really, don't pity us, I say to the people as they walk by.
This is what I'm saying, and I don't think I've actually officially met you, Victor. And I walk over and I say, Sang de bois.
Thorn, Victor.
Nice to meet
Pleasure to
you.
meet you.
You're a strong man. I think we're going to make a very nice team.
I wish it could be under better circumstances. Is this
Yes.
your girlfriend?
No.
No, not at all. And Vin is already in her mechanics coveralls.
We have a past, you should say, but she is not one to be trifled with. She couldn't do this without me, is the truth. Let's be German, but it's French, really.
Jasper sees that you guys are talking to each other, and he walks over with a little smirk on his face. Well,
Jasper.
I suppose this will do, but you realize that we're impersonating officers here. It's a capital offense. You guys are going to do this. I need you guys to have a little bit more composure. He looks at you, Thorn.
Listen, I have plenty of composure. I have worn more uniforms like this to smuggle onto ships than you can even count. Unless you can count higher than 5.
He's certainly a criminal already. Is that
I'm no
your
criminal.
question?
Well, if this is going to be at all successful, maybe we should start planning. If you guys come with me, I have the layout of the ship. He walks you over to a table, and laying on top of a table that has a light projected underneath it, he rolls out what looks to be the blueprints, the layout of a ship. This is the Glory.
That is a
SS
ship, all
Glory.
right, I can tell.
Now,
Wow.
I'm
it's
not
quite
going to
shit.
risk sharing it again through screen sharing.
Alex
Oh.
has it up.
How does he have that? Oh, yeah. Excellent. Fantastic.
I was
And he
ahead of
points
the
to
game.
it. And he says, listen, there's a few places we're going to need to go. When the ship was going to be constructed and we knew this prototype was underway, we tried as hard as we could to steal the technology, but we didn't have a chance, as General Gar said. So instead, we came to our last resort, which is to destroy it. I have infiltrated the shipments for materials for the ship. I've made sure that the components that we need will be in locations spread out through the ship so as not to be detected. In the barracks, where you see the beds there, you'll find the first piece. And inside the chambers there, the cryogenic chambers, which is to the left there, Alex. Down a little bit. Those other ones that kind of look like bed doors kind of thing. Right there. Yep. You will find another piece. Finally, in the pods, snub fighters, the last piece. You will then need to assemble those pieces completely incognito. Move to the engineering bay where you see the purple reactor. Proceed then to the Jeffries tube, right by the escape pods, and finally to the port nacelles, which is in the bottom right-hand corner of the map there. Okay, you will place the device there. It is an electronic warfare device. It should disable the prototype, and hopefully destroy their chances at faster than light travel. If you are successful, the prototype cannot be the bomb cannot be shut off once you've placed it. You'll have to then try to escape, get to the escape pods, maybe even a snub fighter if you're lucky. But you cannot do so until the very last moment. You only have around 3 minutes to escape. That understood?
Sorry, once we assemble the payload, we bring it to the purple area, engineering, place the device, something else?
Yeah, so in engineering, the bottom right-hand side there, you'll see by the escape pods a hallway. Those are Jeffries tubes, crawl space. The port nacelle is what drives, it's kind of the engine.
Is that this?
That is the escape pod. So to the right of that,
Oh,
yeah, that is where you need to place it.
that's
And
the
then within
engineering
3
room.
minutes, you need to get from there to either the escape pods or to one of the snub fighters to make your escape. If you do it too soon, people will know there's something up.
So these
And
are
they
the
will-
escape pods,
That's right.
and these are the snub fighters.
You got it.
And what are these?
Those are some basically, like
Okay.
the Canadian arm
Yeah.
on the side of the ship. So it's kind of axis. The front of the ship, the other end, that is kind of where the action happens.
This
The
one.
deck. Yeah.
And what are the actual results of this bomb? Will it blow up? Is this something that will just disable the electronics?
It will basically fry any circuitry in the ship to the point of any data that was gathered will be destroyed. They will have to start from scratch. And
So this-
highly
Perfect.
So years and years of development to this point to make this prototype, and they have one prototype. It'll set them back years.
Right, but could we not attach this to the outside of the ship if it was not moving?
It's a proximity device.
Right.
If it's not within the reach of the material that activates this prototype, it will not work.
But where's the
Don't-
material located?
Don't question a smart man.
In the nacelle itself.
I'm questioning everything, Vin. This is how I do. I
Yes.
stayed alive this long.
If there was another option, Thorn, we would have chosen it already. Obviously, this is not the best choice,
You made a
but it's our
big,
last choice.
you made a big deal about making sure that we time our exit properly. If we can't stop the bomb afterwards, why does it matter if we leave right away or not?
He already explained it to you, Victor.
Within that 3 minutes, the device will basically be haywired. We don't know how it's going to react. We suggest very strongly you get off the ship, as it could be cataclysmic damage.
But you say
I think
what
Victor's
I'm
saying no
asking-
one can stop it.
no one can
Yes.
stop it, right? So why
what's
does it
the
matter?
Stay on that
if
ship.
we're in 15 seconds or leave in 3 minutes?
Because they will notice that we are bugging the fuck out of there.
But they
That's
can't
right.
stop
If
the
an
bomb.
if escape pod leaves or snub fighter leaves, they'll know there's something up.
They can
Maybe-
take the
Maybe
mechanism.
one of
and-
their engineering
Inject it
crew
into
who are
space.
highly educated will be able to stop this.
Okay.
So anytime before 3 minutes is up,
No,
but not too early.
maybe we have a window
Within
of
3
what?
minutes.
30 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, you want it so that it's like as close to as possible. If you do too soon, you're going to notify. 3 minutes probably is a good window of opportunity.
I'm good at finding the right timing.
There's plenty of time for Sorn.
It feels really good to be sticking it.
What is that supposed to mean?
Damn right, Victor. You said it.
By empire, I mean not the empire.
Yeah.
The government,
I know
the
what you
fucking
meant.
IPC, insane clown posse.
Now, when we make it to the ship, there's going to be other personnel that are going to see us. It's obvious. It's going to be full of people prepping for the voyage.
Are you coming with us,
suggest-
Jasper?
I will be there to make sure you get on the ship. Beyond that, I have no place in the military to be there. They would think it odd for me to be on the ship. I have procured your identity cards.
And how do you
Who
suggest
would likely be there?
we keep a low profile? What should we be seen doing,
Do we
if
need
not
to make stupid
assembling?
accents, or can we speak normally?
Well, Victor, I don't suggest that you do too much heavy lifting in the way of engineering. You're supposed to be there for the armed guard. You others, maybe take the lead of Wynn, who Wynn has the kind of the engineering lieutenant kind of looks, so the higher ranking one. If they ask you to do any repairs or any preparation for the voyage, appease them as best you can. Look busy, especially when you're going to all these different locations on the ship. You need to have a reason why you're looking amongst the beds to find this device. You
No,
need to have a reason why you're near the cryogenic chambers.
certainly. Tell me, Jasper, why do we need an armed guard? What is the rationale?
Because of this top secret mission, because of the nature of this ship, all of the engineering crews have a guard with them.
So we should expect to run into similarly armed crews of people.
Absolutely. You'll probably see a great deal, because this is probably the most advanced technology they have in our cluster.
Understood.
And how many people are they expecting to be on this ship total?
I think last time I witnessed, it was a 26-man crew.
26.
I've
This should
killed
be
more.
easily. So why not just, kill them all and then set off the bomb?
Del knows this to be a folly attempt. When it's still docked at All-Star, there's too much reinforcement. That'd be a suicide mission for anyone who went there.
Fair enough. So covert. We're building the bomb on the ship.
If you need to kill in order to stop people from revealing your identities, I think that's in the best interest. Whatever means necessary to plant that bomb without them being aware of your identity, get off the ship if possible.
If possible, man.
Do we have any means of communicating with each other, at a distance, or do we need to remain together?
So I'm going to have you do a wealth check at this point.
Cool.
So
Is
you will roll
that 2d6?
2d6, that's right.
Positive and negative, and plus whatever we have in it, right?
So
Yep.
my...
Now, if you have an aspect, and we can, after your roll, apply any aspect if you want. You also have 5 fate points, which allows you to re-roll if you want.
So is applying
I have 0.
the aspect, does that cost a fate point, or is that something that we can just discuss afterwards?
I think it's free for now.
Okay.
So
let
I
me
give
see
you
what I
+2.
I had a -1, and I have
I
a
have
1 in
I
asset.
also have a -1.
Yeah. But you have, what is your asset?
I rolled a -1, but my asset is, I have quite a few. I have 5 boxes.
Okay, so what was your skill level?
My skill level is a 3.
So a 3, you had added 3 to, so it's +2. And do we have any aspects that apply, like well connected?
I am proud of my possessions. That's the only thing I really have.
So why don't we say yes, but if you'd have to justify it in a narrative way. Would you own something that would do this or that you would be proud of?
I have this vintage radio from it's almost 100 years old. It's my grandmama's.
Jesper looks at it and says,
My
although
grandmama's, you took it when you left. Don't even pretend.
I believe that there's a fairly family heirloom. I don't believe it is going to be inconspicuous. It's large to begin with, and it's not a modern technology that the military would use. So unless you can hide it, you don't want that to be seen.
Don't break grandmama's
You're
radio.
telling me that we're a rebellion and you don't have any sort of communication to offer us?
Victor's right. You're asking us to risk our life here.
You know how scarce our resources are here. It's lucky that we have what we do. I have a ship to get you on the board. I have those EVA suits that I've handed you.
Jesper, you're asking us to spread out upon the ship to collect different pieces and reconverge. At the very least, a radio for us to speak against each other is imperative. You must be able to find someone within the organization that has
Guys.
ability to get us this.
We're moving on to this ship as an engineering crew. Obviously, the other people on the ship are going to expect us to be able to speak to one another. And I think being able to communicate with the rebellion is just too much of a risk.
It's not a
Personally.
rebellion, it's amongst each other that we need to be able to speak.
I understand,
Okay.
but
No,
if
Delton
we...
is
I
right.
would keeping radio silence while you're on here might be in the best interest, but I'll see if I can procure you a device.
We need to stay
No
together
coincidence.
while we are on the ship. This is very true, Delton. Thank you. Let us please discuss rationales, let us brainstorm reasons why we might need to go to the barracks,
Why do you
cryo chambers.
Why do you want to stay together when we're on the ship? I think we should do 2 teams. One in the barracks, one in the cargo chamber. Saves time.
Well, why don't we choose one person to go back to? We can always split up, but let's always go back to win.
No, I think
I mean, if win's the lead.
we will end up in trouble, and then,
We
2
have a
is
group
a
of
very...
4 people that do not belong together. 2 ensigns, an engineer, and an armory officer working in a group that does not make sense on a ship like this.
Yes, no, everyone has their own
You
special...
you guys are basically an engineering crew who has an armed guard. So that's not uncommon. Because
This
you would be
is,
someone who's kind of brought onto the ship to do repairs, last minute things. And then
We
with the
should
guard,
stay
launching
together.
them.
But I'm saying
it's
that
like-
crew in a barracks situation because there's
Yes, that's hard to
what I
that's hard to
mean.
justify.
Well,
yeah.
I'm saying there are situations where all 4 of us on the ship would make sense together, but they are not, such as the barracks.
Perhaps we
One
can send
person.
1 person at a time into the barracks.
Exactly.
And then, why would we go to the cryo chambers at all?
If we are
Well,
engineers
maybe
and the
there's
cryo
a-
chambers need to be checked before launch, it makes sense for the 4 of us to be there. They can send 1 ensign from the cryo chamber to the barracks to collect the piece that we are missing.
So we say we are checking it before launch?
Girls.
For
Or-
what reason?
How about this? Now, hear me out, Win, because you're the lead engineer on this crew. I say lead engineer, you're wearing the lead engineer's suit.
It looks great on me, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Uniform for no reason.
Of course, anything looks great, but let's not get off topic.
Hey, you'll
here.
wash your mouth out there. I don't care. I'll do whatever you say. She's nothing to me.
Don't make me put this in your mouth, all right?
Stay focused, gentlemen.
Put what in my mouth?
Listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Even if we do split up, it would make sense for us to be moving about the ship even as individuals or in a group, but we would always have to come back to our engineering leader, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. So, if one of us were to say, go and unscrew a couple bolts from the lid of a cryogenic chamber, that might need an engineer to go and check it out, per se, correct?
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, it takes a lot quicker to cause a problem than it does go and search for some of these items that we're looking for. So,
you're saying we should cause some kind of disaster in the cryo chamber.
Maybe not disaster, something easily repairable, but if one of us were to cause a distraction...
Yeah, but what if they send a different crew to fix the problem? But what if they send a different crew to fix the problem? Then we have another engineer and crew there on site.
No, we will be gone. This is after we collect the part.
That's very true, Thorn, but I mean...
You're saying after we collect the part, we create a distraction to alert everyone that there might be a saboteur on board?
With sabotage.
So this is your idea. Would it not alert everyone on board that someone is trying to ruin the ship? Maybe
no,
make
we
them
make
check?
It seem like it is something that is,
well, loosening bolts is not something that typically happens on, especially after they've been inspected by a crew.
Do you know anything about the cryo chamber?
Hey, I know many about cryo chamber. You know this, Vin? I was in one once.
Okay, so do we need to talk about anything else, or should we move along?
Snub fighters. That's the last piece.
Yeah, the pods, snub fighters.
No, I'm fairly proficient with flying a snub fighter.
Can anyone assemble this, or does it have to be like an engineering role to actually assemble the device? GM.
I mean,
I'm
yes,
imagining that
you do need to actually have experience assembling this device.
I think we lost him.
Oh, he's gone. Okay. So plan
he's
is then,
he's trying to do this screen sharing thing.
just to clarify, the four of us were going to the cryo chamber, sending one person to the barracks, then causing distraction in the cryo chamber, and then assembling.
We need to.
And what?
If we decide that we need to cause a distraction for whatever reason.
I'm not crazy about the distraction. I feel like that would just alert people to be like, oh, there's a problem. And then it's like,
not a major distraction. More of a distraction like, hey, look over there.
Yeah.
While I run in and
what about a distraction? Is this still thing in a bay, correct? This isn't flying through space.
Yeah, it's still at the port, and it's still in port also.
So what about a distraction outside?
Oh, I like this.
I mean, what about a distraction outside, though? Wait a minute. If it's still in the port, then why do we need to get the escape pods to leave? Can't we just get off the ship?
Because the idea is that you're actually doing it right on its maiden voyage. You wanted it to happen right as
it will
it's
be
leaving.
in space as it's going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if anything goes really horribly wrong and it does explode, the amount of collateral damage that'll be involved there, the amount of people that die just from being that proximal to the port is too much.
Okay.
So right as it's like about to leave port, right as it's about to jump, that's when we're gonna do that.
So, let's do this.
Well, let's just make sure we know what we're doing. I think, again, the first stop for us is the cryo chamber, where we collect the piece. We send one person from there to the barracks to come back with that piece.
Who will
At which
go?
point we assemble and move to the final staging area, where we plant the bomb and escape.
Who will go to the barracks?
I will go to the barracks. I'm the most convincing.
No, I think the armed envoy should go.
But if he should not know what to say, he can shoot them to death.
He's the only one with the weapons.
Look here. It seems that the plans have some sort of there's some sort of tunnel, some sort of air duct that goes from this room over here into the cryo chamber.
What is the top room?
Where is that?
I don't know.
Looks
What
like
is
some
that,
sort of heat
Captain?
sink.
Zoom out.
Somewhere an engineer might go, probably.
Absolutely, that makes sense. I imagine for the cryo chambers, they need to be exceptionally cold, so that's probably a heat sink.
Well, if one of us were in here and we kept one other outside saying, beware to go in here, is anybody here actually an engineer?
I know my way around this stuff.
As do I. I've repaired many a heat sink in my life.
The nice thing is you guys haven't chosen all your skills yet.
I was just about to say, I'm as intelligent as I need to be. In this case.
Okay.
Which is
What
why
did
I'm
we
glad
asked Chris a question when he dropped the call, and it was, do we actually have to roll for engineering to assemble this piece of mechanics?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
Great.
Down finishes his apple and throws it to the floor. All right. So we know the plan.
Yes.
Do you expect any hesitancy to get on the ship in the first place? Will they
Well,
be
we are
expecting-
going to enter through the maintenance hatch.
What I
We
mean
will
is,
need to be stealthy.
are they checking credentials? Should we have something to?
We do. We have credentials.
Do we have a
It's
name?
You do have,
Do you
names.
have your credentials? They're in your pocket.
Yes,
check
and
your
you look down, and then you each have a name tag and a badge.
Oh, I'm Cindy Lauper.
I am George Mycl.
That is exactly where Alex just had that. That is where he's actually having you guys enter.
Where is that?
So the bottom,
Right
bottom
here.
of the, I guess the
Entrance
aft,
way.
no, starboard and port. I'm so tired. Stern side,
I don't know. Ship
Starboard.
names. So.
port.
Starboard.
This would be the starboard.
Starboard.
Starboard
If you
side.
said that the right is to the front.
Wouldn't that be the left side? Is that starboard?
Starboard is the right.
Starboard's right side. So that would be
Starboard's
the other
right.
side.
This
So
is the
it's-
starboard. This is the port.
If you said that the
This
front.
is the engine.
The front is the other side. The left.
This is the
Oh,
front.
that's the front.
Yep.
Then it's port.
Yep.
Sorry, I thought you said the other way was.
Okay, so
And
the
this
port
is
side.
The aft.
Port side.
On the port side there, that's where he's actually going to enter.
All right. Listen, there's
Oh,
no sense to make
port, yeah.
any sort of risk here. I think we need to be smart. Which means let's not do cowboy, yeah? I'm looking at you, Delton.
What's that?
No cowboy moves here. Which means we do the thing that makes the most sense.
Cardboard? What are you talking about? No cardboard.
Cowboy.
moves.
Cowboy,
you know
like
you know the Ren system.
The fuck are these guys talking
In the
about?
Ren system, you know, they have these boys that are flying along
Oh, cowboys. Yeah.
on the
What do you
steel
take me
horse I
for?
ride.
riding on the horses.
Of
I don't
steel-
make
So-
rash decisions. I do it right. I do it right the first time.
All right.
Okay.
Victor phases back into the conversation.
Where the hell have you been?
What are we talking about now?
Did you have a strange blackout just now?
I did.
Flashback.
Occasionally. Flashback to my military days.
PTSD, yeah?
There was
It's a real
a big
bitch.
fight, a big space combat fight, and I was in my gunnery chair shooting down bad guys.
Jasper knows that you guys are all ready now. You guys have kind of made a plan. In the next days, it takes several days to travel. You've never actually moved this fast, going more than 2 G. You're sore when you arrive into the Reaper system.
I'm not crazy about this plan, for the record.
What is the plan?
It's not very good. It's go to the cryo chamber, send someone to the barracks, send them back, assemble. Feel like we could be way smarter with this, but
Well, I think a lot's going to depend too on what formation people are in on this ship. Depending on
It's
how
also-
things are.
Absolutely. It's one thing to look at. It's one thing to look at a map. It's another thing to be on board. I don't really know what I'm dealing with till I'm in person.
Exactly.
We can play jazz with it a little bit.
As you guys
oh, I love jazz.
Jazz.
leave
Yeah, jazz is great.
the Slipknot.
Slipknot?
Is that what it sounds like?
You
That
see-
is what it sounds like.
ICP and Slipknot, guys.
You did the heavy metal.
ICP. Oh god, I didn't even notice. You see the large sun, and you see right away the moon-sized space station that's absorbing energy. Port
That's
Alpha.
no moon.
Exactly. The ship is rickety, but Jesper's a good pilot. And he says, "Okay, this is a tricky bit. I have codes to board here, but as long as my contact is correct, it should work out." And he pulls up and he pulls on the radio and he says, "This is Jasper Blateman. I have with me a crew of engineers who are trying to board SS Glory. I repeat, do we have clearance?" And he punches in a code into the computer. And there's a beat.
A beat?
A moment.
Pause.
Dun, 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 dun.
And a voice comes on the radio. That's a strange code you got there. That seems to be a little outdated. Can you repeat again why you're here? Jasper looks like he's panicking.
And I lean over to the comms and I slap on the call button.
Of course you would.
And I say, these codes are outdated, but they are correct, I assure you. We are here to inspect the cryo chambers aboard the SS Glory. Finish our inspection so she can start her maiden voyage.
And he looks down and he says, I do have here that the cryo chambers need one last inspection before they leave.
That is why we are here. Please let us through.
What exactly are you inspecting?
We are expecting, and I'm going to do a roll on engineering to figure out exactly what any part of a cryo chamber that's fancy.
That I know of. You know, the knob part.
You
So
mentioned
I want
the
you
heat
to.
sink already.
The cryo part?
Heat sink. Well, so what?
That was
can I-
something self-evident from the map.
Yes.
Yep.
But okay, fine. I'll say heat sink then. The heat sink.
Do you want to use any of your 15 skills that are left in your
Yes.
pyramid?
That's what I want to do. What would
Okay,
that
so
be
at what
under?
level?
Engineering or just bluff?
Yeah, it'd be under engineering. Or you can try to make it bluff, but the bluff, it's an engineering question, so we're gonna go there.
Sure. So I'll do it as a rank 3.
Okay, so rank 3. So add that to whatever you get here.
So engineering's gonna be rank 3. Wha-bam! Let's cross our fingers. Uh-oh. Oh, good. So 2, and then plus 3, so 5.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, you're absolutely right. The heatsink does appear to be out of line. Actually, can you actually hurry up a little bit? I'm gonna actually
Listen,
clear.
just clear the area so we can board immediately. We do not want to have to waive any passes. Allow the area for boarding to be absolutely free. We will be in and out of your hair. In fact, make sure that the cryo area is completely clear of any unwanted personnel so we can work freely, please.
Well,
And I wink
I'll
at
see what I
Wayne
can
as
do.
I say that.
There's a lot of work to be done on this ship. I can probably, we need this done. It is a little volatile here. I will get you in, but again, there's going to be a lot of other people working.
This
so
is non-negotiable.
I'll do what I can. And they're blowing out of the sky because that's way too suspicious. Okay. So you pull up and you basically make a docking connection, and you guys put on your EVA suits and you board the ship. And you are standing in the first room that was presented on the map there.
Oh.
And as you see, I have presented it to you. So now you have a choice. You go left, you can go up, you can go right. It's up to you.
Can we get a copy of the map that we
Yeah.
can look at?
Yes, I posted one. It was underneath the. Alex has it there.
Yeah, do you want me just
Can you
to
post it
share
to
it again?
Discord or something? I'd like to look at it myself actually too.
I'll put it in the Discord.
Yeah. Just then I don't have to keep looking at that.
So that everybody could see in the Discord.
Everybody should Discord.
And we've studied this enough on our couple-day journey that we pretty much know the layout without
course.
having to.
Just not in real life.
Yes, right.
I wonder if we could use that as an aspect. We know the map.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
know the layout.
I know where I'm going.
Perfect. Thanks. Okay.
BRB.
So which way are you gonna go?
We might as well go. Let's go through the. There's not going to be probably any people in the snub
Bridge.
fighters.
Let's go to the bridge.
Why don't we get the piece from the snub fighter on the way to the coolant?
So you're going to the left?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we can go directly to the left.
We need a piece from the snub fighter, correct?
Which
Unfortunately, as you go to the left is a dead end. So you open an access port, and it appears to be that you can't go any further.
To the snub fighter?
Yeah, it seems to vary from what you've noticed on the map, where it should be a Jeffries tube that you could crawl from one to the next. Instead, you open where it should be, and there's a panel of circuitry there.
All these days of studying this map for nothing. It was useless.
is there a door that can open that is locked, or what?
Say that again?
You said that there's a circuitry panel. Is that
Yeah,
that
no,
there's...
we're talking about like raw circuits here. There's no way to get through.
So the map is wrong.
Bizarre.
What you're saying.
Can we look around and see if there's another map here?
like a fire
Like a
exit?
hotel lobby? Like, oh,
No, that's
okay.
not a bad thing. You know that there actually is one. There's usually
There it usually is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Somewhere in the
Safety
ship, you'd
first.
probably be lucky to find, a layout of the ship.
Yeah.
Especially for escape purposes and that type of thing.
There'd have
Probably close
However,
to the
not in
entrance,
this space here.
right? If we go back into that entryway,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't being
sure-
funny. Normally these things
No.
would have to happen.
Now you guys are not near the entrance. You guys are actually entered through a different hatch that
Okay.
would have to do for more mechanical.
Oh,
I point
they
to
have one at the airlock.
I point to Win, and I'm kind of like, go listen at that door towards the core. See if you can hear anything.
The one that we assumed was towards the car, yes?
Yeah, the one to the.
You go listen.
Well, I'm the one trying to look for the map here. Fine, Victor, go listen at the door, and I go to the other one.
So does he go to the north or to the east?
I'm looking around for the map. I'm gonna, because we know the Jeffries tube to the.
Just to be straight, we're in this rectangular area.
Mm-hmm.
We
beside
thought
the
we are.
Starfighters. Okay.
Yeah, I'll post exactly what you see so far.
So where do you want me to listen?
To the north in this map.
In the north.
And I want to go to the far wall where we're supposed to be
entrance.
going to the escape hatch and planting the bomb, because if this map is wrong, then maybe there's no Jeffries tube that will lead to where we need to actually plant the bomb.
An announcement comes across the airways.
Intruder.
Attention! We will be departing in less than 2 hours. All essential personnel, please make your way off the ship to the nearest docking collar. Sorry, what was the word we had here? Airlock immediately. All non-essential personnel, please make your way to airlock.
Is there anyone else in the chamber that we're in right now?
Nobody is there with you right now. This clearly is just kind of a space that is access to different Jeffries tubes.
We are supposed to be here, according to whoever let us land. So
There's also
let us
supposed
just
to be.
make our way through the ship
Hold down.
as if we know where we're going.
We listen. If this Jeffries tube here was supposed to be open, is gone. There's a possibility that the one we are supposed to go through to plant the bomb is gone too. And I want to look at the one opposite it and open.
Can you roll to do like a search for me?
Sure. Is that going to be something I can give myself a skill for as well?
You can.
I will
I
give
can't
that to me as a.
remember what it is in the present time because I'm not going to look it up.
Let's call it a 3 as well. And that maxes out on my 3s.
Okay,
So, let's call it search.
Let's roll.
And oh, they left. Okay. 2, 5, 3 at 6. Wow.
Okay, so not very long in the confusion, Thorn looks around and he says, "Look," and he finds what looks to be an arrow that says escape pods. So an emergency this way kind of thing.
Okay. And
Which
does it point to the
directions are
Jeffries too?
pointing?
So it says north.
So
And you notice that it's on actually both of the doors leading north. So both of them suggest that if you an emergency, go this way.
okay. Now, sorry, I was looking for the Jeffries tube that we're meant to follow towards where we're planting the bomb. Does that door open?
So the one to the east.
Correct.
Assumably, that's the way you want to go.
I just want to test it to see if we're in the right area.
Yeah, in fact, all these doors open. They appear that they can't lock from the inside.
Okay, so it's just the one I opened first that's wrong.
Yes, that one just seems to be like a closet type situation.
Okay, but I can see the Jeffries tube curving off to the left exactly how the map is.
To the left or to the right? The
Uh,
one to the right you have. The one to the left that would have gone to the snub nose.
No, I mean the one the one to the east that sort of goes juts forward and then turns a sharp left and then
Yeah.
continues on towards where we're meant to plant the bomb. That looks as it's meant to.
It looks like there's a doorway there. Yeah.
Perfect. And I open and I check it. I just want to like make sure that that's the only irregularity here. That's all.
Okay, so you're gonna open that one.
Correct.
Okay. So as you open it, you see a few people turn to look at you.
And I say, we're looking for the cryogenic. We're fixing the heatsink.
Okay. Have you been on board before? A man stands there in blue as they look up from their basically their workstations.
Yes, our blueprints, and I point to the one that's opened on the other opposite side. That was just wires. Says, our blueprints originally said this was deleted the snub nose, but unfortunately it is not. So we just wanted to make sure that we weren't turned around.
Well, it appears that you are turned around because that's not the way. Who are you?
Can I make
I posted
some...
in Discord the updated map.
Oh, okay.
I want to do some kind of persuasion or charm,
Oh.
charisma type check. Is there some kind of associated skill that I can buy ranks in? Charm,
charisma
I
check?
guess?
Yeah, charm.
Great. I'm going to give myself a 4 in charm.
Ooh.
Yeah, this map is wrong. Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna roll first and then narrate how it goes down based on what happens.
Don't forget you can use aspects to give yourself a +2.
Right.
Yeah.
So my aspect that I'm gonna use is I use sex to get what I want.
Don't we all?
That was an aspect you gave yourself? I don't remember that.
Yep. I think you were changing the baby.
Oh, okay.
So I got a 1 plus my charm, which is 4, right?
-1.
Plus your aspect, which gives
Oh,
you
-1. +2 is +1, and then my charm is 4.
Now you can try to impose an aspect on one of the men you're talking to here.
What are the regular aspects?
Yeah, I'm not sure. What? Wait,
Okay, so
sorry.
let's just-
That gives me a
let's just try-
5 to play with.
Is that what your total is now?
Yeah, my total is 5.
They're
So you're
patriotic
successful.
and-
So what were you trying to do?
So Wynn kind of slinks up to this man in a blue suit, and she kind of like is adjusting like the collar of her jumpsuit, and she's like, "Oh, you have to excuse my companion. He's very bumbling and has misplaced the proper blueprints for this beautiful ship. We are looking for the cryo chamber. If you wouldn't be too kind, could you please show me?"
The other guy who's sitting there at the panel, he's like, "Can you please press a C12, please? C12, Frank, C12." And Frank, who he's trying to talk to, is his eyes are huge. Clearly, he's not seen. No one really talks to him this way. He's just kind of a tech guy who needs to be involved with his work. And he mumbles to himself. What can I help you with?
We have 2 hours until liftoff, and we would like
Frank.
to be back at the base.
C12, Frank. You see the guy. Yeah, I think I can help you out.
If you wouldn't mind just bringing us to the cryo chamber, we can get our work done. And
Yeah.
Or a map. Just a map would be easier than walking us through the building. Vin.
You hear a beeping start going up. Beep, beep, beep. Frank, C12.
Frank, is this C12? If you wouldn't mind, just your colleague is trying to get your attention.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, and he presses C12. Well, that could have been horrible. Oh,
I feel
focus.
that there's nothing gonna happen there, and I standing back watching this going on. I try one of the other doors.
Wow.
He's gonna lead us to the thing,
Was he?
or give us some blueprints.
All right, finish your thought.
He says, "Okay, I'll give you. You know what I know. They don't allow me to go everywhere on the ship. As you know, it's very segmented to the different sections. And as you know, I'm a science officer, so I tend to stay to the science wings. But this is the ship that I've explored. And I'm pretty sure the cryo stations are this way. I've worked on them before." And he draws for you in the map. He reveals some of the directions. He describes them to you, and I'll reveal that to you now.
And Wynn is like, "Yes, you seem like someone who has important enough to go and to be with the cryo chambers. They're very fascinating."
And he's drooling a little bit.
And Thorn's like
he-
visibly annoyed, like, "All right, I think we got all what we need here. Thank you, Mr. Frank. Appreciate it."
He's you know, the guy's like, "Can you go touch that panel over there?" And he's trying to get him to go over to the other side of the room. He's like, "I can't, not right now." He doesn't want to stand up from the table. Delton,
Boner.
which door do you open?
The boner joke.
It's the one to the it's the standing.
So is it
in
the
there looking
initial
towards
to your
the
left
right.
or the further one to your left?
It's the initial one to my left.
Okay, so you open it up and you see it's a corridor, and you see a door on your right, and you see that it turns to left. And this is what he describes to you. He says, "Okay, if you go out through this door, turn left, you'll find yourself in the cargo bay. I worked on some of the ships that are in there, and they're pretty impressive. If you'd like me to show you sometime, we could maybe go for a ride after, the maiden voyage and all that stuff. Would you like that?"
Victor steps forward. I'd love that. What would
Oh. No, and you just
if
keep
you
going.
didn't press
keep going to the-
C12?
If I didn't press C12, the heat sinks inside the cryo chamber, the ones that you're probably here to repair.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I keep having to flush the system, or else it's going to overheat. So obviously that needs to be repaired before we leave, which is why you're here. You know what? Come to think about it, those snub fighters are only for one person. I was wrong. And he continues to describe the direction, clearly intimidated by Victor.
Hmm.
We got what we need.
Too much sexual energy for him.
Raw.
Okay, so I'm going to post inside the
Discord.
Yep. This was supposed to be a much smoother transition, but this is what you get now. So he describes to you what is there. Yeah, so you know the map layout.
Okay.
Great.
It's totally different.
So we have barracks a little bit.
No, I think that would be the cryo chamber.
That's a cryo chamber.
Yeah. Which
And
is
snub
perfect,
noses, which are the other
which we
things
need to
that
do
are
anyway.
snub fighters.
As I come back to the others, I say, obviously, our blueprints are incorrect, so we do need to still find where the barracks is. And obviously, time is of the essence. It's also possible that the snub fighters are less secure than we had thought. We might not be able to get everything from them in one go.
Well, first, why am I talking with a French accent? First of all, let's head over to the cryo chamber. Take a look. I mean, number one thing, while you're taking a look at the cryo chamber, I might just wander around a bit.
Do you think that's the best idea, you Delton?
You're an ensign. They might order you somewhere.
I'll make do.
Do you guys mind leaving? We're trying to get work done, and my friend is very distracted.
Oh, I didn't realize we were still standing in this room.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you very much for your help.
Okay, so which way are you going to leave? Basically, are you going to go?
Yeah, we're going to go.
Yeah.
Head up towards the cryo chamber.
North.
You enter the cargo space, and surprisingly, you'd expect to see many people, moving shipments in, getting ready for the maiden voyage. And there's one man standing there. And as soon as the doors open, you walk in. He turns and faces you, and right away you recognize him.
Oh,
He's one of the members of the rebel, the alliance that you formed.
Oh, perfect.
I want to say the Rebel Alliance. But he's a member that actually has been left out of the meeting. And the reason for that is volatility and his propensity to anger and violence. His methods are too erratic. And you see him there smile when he sees you. Perfect. Thorn, Delton, Victor, you're here too? Okay, this is perfect. Okay, we have, I was going to do this by myself.
What's his name?
But now we have the chance. Hector.
Hector. Hello, Hector. How are you, my friend?
I'm better now, I can tell you that, Thorn. I was going to overload one of these bad boys, blow this thing up. Our problem's solved. Now, if we get 3 of them going, we're in and out, tickety-boo, we're done. So I'm going to get into the middle one. And he's got some tools, and he's presses the button on the side of the snub fighter, and the door's open.
No, Hector. No, listen. We are here for a different mission that we need your help with, of course.
Do you know what they're carrying on the ship?
The prototype, of course.
Yeah.
But we are here to steal it. We are here to make sure that it's safely transported off the ship.
We're not... What?
Yes.
No, we've tried that. I've tried it. We've tried to steal. We can't steal.
They have, but
so
the
when you
idea
can't
is
steal,
to
you
wait.
destroy. I know how we work.
Hector, listen. It is waiting till the ship is in space. We are waiting till the maiden voyage continues. But in the meantime, we are planting something so that the ship stops mid-flight and we can come and take it like pirates.
What's his name again?
Hector.
Who sent you here, Hector? I interrupt Thorn.
Delton, it's called initiative. I mean, among all, you and Victor must know more than anything about initiative. Remember in the war?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We had orders.
Yeah,
we
Hector.
Them, I'm glad.
Stop right there. That's fantastic. I love the fact that you've got you've taken some initiative on yourself. But do you realize what you're doing?
He starts working on the ship. I know exactly what I'm doing. His wrench is going.
No. Stop for a second. Just look at me for a second.
Have you not heard the announcements? Hector. They're about to disembark. We need to get this thing blown up.
Hector. He grabs Hector by this scruff of the jacket. You're not fucking listening to me, Hector. You're out of line.
You hear a door open and grunting as 2 people walk in carrying big boxes. They're covering their face. They can't see. How many more of these shipments are they doing? I mean, rations? Is that all we're going to eat on this trip? They walk in. They go to
Is that
put
what the guys are saying to each other?
Yeah, as they walk in, they put their boxes down in this cargo. Eyes gaze up, and they see you, Delton, holding Hector, a higher-ranking officer, by the throat, and they immediately go to their sidearm. What's going on here?
Hold on. The minute the doors opened, I would have walked out towards the coolant area, towards the.
Okay, so you leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I, as soon as I see them too, I put a hand on Delton, and I say, "As security, I'm gonna have to stop you right there. It's okay, gentlemen. I got this under control."
And I immediately back off and I say, "Oh, you're absolutely right. I'm very sorry, officer. It's just that he doesn't. He's been playing with this, and I'm not sure he quite understands what he's doing there."
You need to follow your rank of command.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And I give him what would be a reasonable salute to what would be normal, not saluting security, but just like hello.
They kind of go. Hey, do you need us to call the backup? I mean, you all right?
Yeah, I got this under control. You're
Thank you,
fine, right,
gentlemen.
Hector?
They look like they're kind of grunts, and they put the stuff down. I guess we'll get back to the shipping.
What did you say is in these boxes?
Well,
And,
rations, I think.
Wynn has when they entered, she kind of just looked around and grabbed a clipboard that was nearby, and she's kind of strides towards the boxes and starts inspecting them a little bit.
Oh, are you the inventory manager?
No, I'm taking over. They're sick in the barracks.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
The barracks.
Yes, they're not feeling very well. This seems to be an order. Thank you.
Oh, okay. And they turn to leave.
And I as she's kind of distracting you, I say, "Yeah, you're right." In the background, I say, "Yeah, you're right. I should probably get back to what I was doing."
It seems a little fishy to them, so I'm going to need you to convince them. So I'm going to go with Victor's going to roll, but Delton's going to give him an aspect if he can.
Okay, so Victor is going to roll bluff. He does have a little bit of bluff. But I'm also going to use the aspect.
You look after the people that you care about.
Yeah. And
yeah, I guess trying to keep everything, trying to stay out of trouble.
Keep your nose clean, yeah.
And I guess, am I using aspect here too?
If you can apply one, I'll allow you.
I would, because I'd like to apply obsessive, and in applying this, I'll say something along the lines of, "But he's not doing exactly how I would do it." Okay, speaking about Hector.
Oh, I see.
So this roll that Victor. Sorry, say that again.
So he's going to try to continue to argue with Hector to kind of play up the conflict a little bit.
I would
Make it
say
a little more
actually,
genuine.
Delton, because you have flying experience, that maybe you know
That might be
actually
a
about
better
the
one.
mechanics
That's
of
a good
the
one.
snub nose, and so you can talk convincingly about the thing.
Yeah, let's go that route instead.
I think that's gonna be hard for this bluff roll here, but I'll allow you to apply it maybe in a future roll.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just,
Victor, go
me
for
and my aspect.
Yep.
Okay.
Be open book here. You need to beat a 3.
Okay. So I got a 3 total. Oh wait, no.
Okay.
A 5 total.
So no problem. So they see you as a pretty tough looking guard type, and they know you can handle it. So they turn and leave. Obviously to go get more stuff to bring into the holding.
As soon as they leave, I turn to both Wynn and Dalton, and I say, "You guys are taking unnecessary risks. Lying through your teeth like that, Wynn? Are you serious?"
I had to say something.
But now what if they find out that the inventory manager isn't sick? They're definitely going to know something's up. And I walk back to Hector, and I say, "Okay, Hector, show me what you're doing." And I wait for him to get back into the jet. And
Hector's kind of a twitchy guy, and you can see in the gleam of his eyes he's excited about this. Quite easy. Okay,
Okay.
that is the energy source there. So if we take that reactive material and we loop it, we get a supercharge. Yeah, the supercharge will allow this reactor to self-combust.
So
when
as
that does,
as he's sitting in the cockpit, I'm going to subdue him. I'm going to use a hold on him or a pressure point
You
that
gonna
I
hug
know
him?
from my combat expertise.
Yep.
And I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
make him pass out.
Okay, I'm going to apply the fact that he's kind of twitchy, kind of slippery, kind of a slippery fellow,
Okay.
as kind of an aspect for him. So I'm going to give that.
So he's going to get a +2.
And I'd like to give him some help, if possible. By watching this go down, I kind of step in front as sort of a lookout, you know? So he can be a little bit more forceful without worrying about someone sneaking up behind him accidentally.
Will you allow that, Chris?
Say that again.
I'm going to be a little bit... I'm going to be a lookout so that Victor can be a little bit more forceful with Hector.
The aspect
The
will be...
only issue that I have is that there's like 6 entrances to this room. So if someone comes in, it could come from any direction. So being a lookout is like... But I mean, the fact that he's inside the snub fighters, I think is
Yeah, and he's a security officer, so...
So that's
I
an
might-
aspect I can invoke, is him being in the...
Sure.
Okay. So I'll get
So you
that.
need to beat a +1.
Okay. I will throw
Or
this.
+2 total.
All right. So I got a +4 and then +2, so 6.
So you see him look at you with shock for a moment, slump over as you kind of Vulcan grip his neck.
And then I close the hatch of the snub-nosed fighter.
Nice.
And resting my hands, I say, "Where's Thorn?"
Victor, how long will he be out?
At least 2 hours. Should be plenty.
Perfect timing.
Long enough to get out of here.
That's a 2-hour Vulcan death grip.
I could have gone more,
Could
but I
have
held
given
back.
me 1
I
hour.
tweaked it.
Could have cranked it to 3.
The difference is how many fingers you put on.
Yeah.
1 hour.
And Thorn
2
walks
hours
in holding the
towards
2
death.
remaining parts that we're hiding, and he's like, "Let's do this."
Yeah. Okay, so you guys get to the cryo chamber.
And I've already found
Thorn
it.
would get there first.
Yeah, Thorn is there. And in the cryo chamber, you know, one of these things is not like the other. You look at the 3 cryo chambers, and inside, at the foot of one of them, you see what looks to be a component piece.
Wait, did we find a component among the snub fighters?
Did you? Did you look for one?
I mean, Wynn probably would have been poking around while the other 2 characters were subduing this guy.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn this into a time event.
Mhm.
So it's a matter of how long it's going to take. So let me just see here, because there's a way to deal with this. So I'm going to have you roll all the same, but instead of instead of it being like a pass or fail, it's how long it's going to take. So you can find it. It should take, I'm going to start it off at a few minutes. Okay, based on your shifts, based on how successful you are, we can make it instant, but it could go the other way.
Mhm.
Talking about each of us? Or are you talking about her?
For her, but I'm going to say that you guys are all helping her. So,
Okay, so I'll make my roll and then we'll talk about it.
yep,
I got a -1.
a -1.
Plus any skills?
I don't have any bot yet, but this might be a good time for it.
What about using your fate point to re-roll?
Okay,
So use a fate point. Okay.
great. So I have 4. And that's an even.
An even?
It's 0. It's just a 0 result.
Okay, and you don't have any other aspects?
I don't have any, but I'm thinking if there's some kind of perception type. Not really, hey?
So does anyone else help her?
Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of already there
Yeah, and
watching this guy kind of fiddle with shit, knowing that I'm a pilot. I'm kind of...
Unfortunately, yeah, because I mean, even with one person, Alex, what is your asset that's going to be applied to here, you think? Aspect.
I'm going to go with flying experience.
Okay, something doesn't belong in the ship kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm looking for...
Okay,
something
I'll allow
doesn't
that.
belong.
So yeah, actually, it was going to take a few minutes, but it actually takes a minute. And in a minute, you are able to find the device. So now you have both devices, two of the 3.
I'm like, hey, that thing doesn't belong in the front of a ship.
One of these
Oh, so that must be
things
the
is not like
component.
the other.
The announcement comes on over the air.
Looks like a dildo.
Last warning. 15 minutes till departure.
Holy fuck!
Please disembark.
An hour and 15 minutes. And I have the other piece, so I come back with that.
Yeah,
Yep.
we meet in the hallway in the tube between.
And I'm like tossing it like in my arms and like, took you guys long enough to get out of there with that piece. I found this pretty good. It's like clinking in my hands.
Easy with that. You know that's part of a bomb, right?
I'm easy as can be.
Are you guys staying? Where are you staying? Are you staying in the cargo hold?
This is
Well,
just
I'm
the
gonna look
hallway.
around actually to see if there are any cameras actually.
And you do notice that there's one there. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we still got to keep our shit together.
Need the barracks.
Nod to the camera.
I would like to proceed
Not inconspicuous.
to the looking at the revealed map that it is. I think there's an entrance that's to the upper right of the. So I see there's an entrance near the top of the ships there. There's got to be a couple more entrances on the other side, right?
Hey, it's as good a shot as any.
No, he said 6.
Yeah, there's. You can see there's 6 doors to this room. I just didn't erase it well enough.
I'm thinking
Oh,
perhaps
one,
maybe
two.
someone should head to the place where we
Okay.
planted the
Sorry,
bomb
and by
with
6
the
I mean
pieces.
8.
Huh?
Ah, so yeah. So I go north. What's that? Northwest.
Okay, northwest.
That way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you make your way into the hall, and you actually find the escape pods.
Okay. Excellent.
Cool.
Hey guys, I found the escape pods.
Oh, right. I guess we haven't found where we're supposed to plant this yet.
Yeah, we got to figure that out too.
Right.
We might have to split up if we only got 15 minutes.
Yeah, we do. All right. And I take
right.
off the other direction from Delton.
Okay, so you split up. So one person goes west, one person goes
Yeah.
east.
Correct.
Search the
Let me just
spaceship
erase the next
montage.
space here.
Dustin says.
Spaceship montage.
Montage. Do. We're all going through. Might as well just take off that fog of war and we go around. Tell us who we encounter.
No way, I'm not doing it. Sorry.
We worked too damn hard on it.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry it's not as fast as you'd like it to be, but suck it up.
It's okay.
I'm sucking everything up.
Even if
Good.
it means taking a chubby.
I will suck it up.
There you go.
Nice.
This is what you find.
There's the barracks.
That's what we need.
And that's the escape pod, and that was typically close to where it was originally. So maybe it's in the top right corner.
Top right near the airlock.
Possible.
Mm. Though that could be the back. That's probably where the head of the
Good
ship.
observation. So you actually know that through when you're approaching the ship, the orientation is just flipped around. So it's actually, the
Oh,
map
yeah.
is upside down.
Look at that.
The spot we're going for is southwest.
No, it's not
That's
all
what
the
we have
same.
to
I'm just saying that you notice that that the front of the ship is actually to the east,
Ah, gotcha.
Uh-huh.
because you would know that just by looking at the outside.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So if that's
So we found the barracks.
And the room we were actually planting in originally, what was it?
It was the
Port in a cell. So one of the
yes.
engines.
One of the engines?
Yep.
So it's the back of the ship. So we want to go left. So from the barrack. So then they went through the cargo bay to go up to the barracks. I would split off and I would head south and I would go along that hallway towards the back of the ship trying to find the port to sell.
Okay. So I hope I'm right in what I'm doing here, but I'll just erase what we
And I'd
have.
ask somebody to come with me.
Okay. So as soon as you go down, you come into the space that looks like a tunnel, basically another hallway, and you walk in to
And
what
while I'm
looks to be
doing,
the
I'm like
engine
looking
room.
down at something in my hand, like just a thing, like a calculator. Just reading it.
Boop, boop, boop.
It's looking really busy.
wow, that guy's doing math on a calculator.
Yeah, it was very, very difficult.
Who
Yeah.
hired that guy? Like using an abacus.
When is with him, she's got her clipboard.
And I'm playing coy.
Okay. So that's where
Right.
you walk in, and sure
There it
enough,
is.
is
Perfect.
what looks to be a science officer, a security guard, and a high rank.
And they're all wearing Star Trek
High-ranking
uniforms.
Yeah, they are.
Perfect.
Makes it easy. So they look at you and they say,
I don't even look up. I just continue walking past them.
"Excuse me," the security officer.
And I turn
says.
to Win. I say, now we need to make sure that the heatsink is also maxed. And I continue walking.
So the heatsink engineer says, and some alarm bells go off in the security officer, and he starts pursuing you.
Okay. And I notice and I stop and I said, "Is there a problem, please?"
Yeah. Can I see your papers? Why are you back here?
We are trying to repair the heat sink.
You know that only authorized personnel are supposed to be at this part of the ship.
Yes, of course.
Oh, we got turned around. Sorry.
Well, this is not where the heat sink is. You can go back the way you came.
Yes, we will. We need to assemble the thing and then plant it in this room. We found where we need to go.
No, this
We
isn't the room we need to plant it in.
Yes, it is.
Do you need me
No.
to
No,
take
it's
you
not.
back to the heat sink?
You
No,
said-
this looks like this looks like the main reactor.
Yeah.
This does not look
It's
like
a much
the
smaller room we need to plant it in.
But there's a piece that we need in there, right?
No.
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 Oh,
No,
We
we
need
have
to-
all the pieces now.
Listen, everybody who's wrong.
Oh.
We need to. I'm guessing that little door on the top to the left of the reactor room is either where we need to go. So we most likely have to get to this reactor room again, Win, which means convincing these people so we can come back through again.
no. Go back out through the barracks and then down towards the cryo chamber and down.
I mean, we can go around it.
Yeah, go down the hall. I think it's on the bottom towards the back.
It
You can
appears that
bypass
the
the hole.
security guard is trying to usher
we'll
you
turn
back
around.
to the.
All right. Yeah, we'll turn around and go back in then.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. I turn around and continue. And then when I get alone with
Okay.
Win, I say, I had that situation handled. You didn't need to.
No, hardly.
But how this is what you do all the time. I had it handled. You didn't.
Wait, we are under
Did you
cover.
just me again?
I always do that.
You promised since we were divorced you would not me again. You did that twice. Do not.
So
And we continue
we're
walking
gonna say
back.
that you figure out that you can't get there through the hallway that's in the heat sinks, and you go further south eventually, and you find yourself here.
Here you
I
are.
would have tried to charm
Here you are.
Zia. That would have been my go-to.
What are you doing, Victor?
What am I doing? Well, I'm
You and I
waiting.
are kind of bumming around, eh?
What is
Yeah.
that?
See, I think it's up north.
No, we have to keep going back. Continue back.
I think we should inspectigate.
Yeah, I love that. I want to inspectigate the other end.
You appear to be in an engineering type section of the ship. This seems to be all engineering types that you see moving around. They seem to be too occupied to pay attention to you. There is the occasional guard that walks by who kind of nods at Victor and eyes you guys over, wondering why you're not working. But keep working.
How conspicuous is this device that we've created? Are you
It
looking at
looks-
us weirdly?
The engineering people seem to be awfully occupied,
Okay.
but the security personnel seems to be increasing as you move to the back.
I would suggest maybe it's worth heading back to the shipping area just real quick to empty out all the rations from a box. Put the
You
thing
know
We
in.
have
where
like
you're also-
5 minutes.
Yeah, you know you're on the starboard side of the ship also.
Yeah, I'm guessing here. I'm gonna screen share this real quick, just because this is what I'd say to Win as we can. I'm guessing that's either here or here is where we need to plant the bomb, or possibly here, or possibly here. But most likely one of these two places, which means we need to figure out a way to get around these people.
There
We're
might be a
down at
way-
the bottom
well,
anyway. We can
well,
yeah,
go
you're
through.
The instructions again were in the port nacelle.
Which is at the
Exactly.
back of the ship.
So I'm gonna give you probably one chance. So port is not the back of the ship.
Oh right. Oh port. Oh wait a minute. I thought you said it was near the engines though.
It is near the engines. This whole area of the ship is near the engines.
Perfect.
The
We have to
port
go to the
nacelle-
Port side, which is the left side, which means it's the top.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we should go top,
So
bottom,
it's perfect,
left,
so that
right?
we can get there
On
from
that
the
We gotta
barracks.
go through the bridge.
So you can actually get there by just going through the barracks.
Perfect. But then we have to go through that bridge too, and we don't know if that's occupied yet, do we?
Assumably it'll be occupied just because of the nature of the ship
Right.
and the amount of personnel you've seen.
Okay.
But it's not the bridge. It's not like the front of the ship.
Okay.
It's obviously some sort of engineering station.
So what do you guys are in the barracks, aren't you?
Yeah.
Was it empty?
I thought we went the other way. To the right.
Well, now I'm thinking we didn't.
Let's go. Let's continue through the barracks where they're headed.
Okay, so as you're
We don't
walking
know that,
through,
but
We meet up chance.
you
So the
walk
four of us.
into the space there that you have known to be an engineering station. And before you stands, to your surprise, Captain Dumont, the captain of the ship.
Ah.
And he appears to be making rounds, inspecting things. And he looks at you as you walk through the door.
And we nod. Continue.
Fantastic.
And he shakes it, puts his hand out.
walking. Shake
Ensign,
it.
I don't think I've met you before. And what is your name
Dubois.
again?
Dubois.
Dubois.
Or whatever
good
name
French
would be
name.
on my fake ID.
Wait,
All right,
he's
okay.
Dubois.
Yeah.
He says, are you excited about our journey today?
Very sir. It is always exciting for the maiden voyage of such a glorious ship. You will do her proud.
So what are you doing back here anyways?
We are inspecting...
Well, we're just looking. We're looking at all the
Motherfucker.
advancements of this ship. You know,
You're
very
a tourist.
That
we're
might be
very
what he is
excited.
doing, but I am doing my work.
Okay, so
Very excited, sir.
you're working and you're being a tourist. You know this is not a luxury ship.
Say it to him. He's the one that's not working.
Yeah, he's talking to Delton.
Good. And I fuck
No,
off.
I am working, sir. I'm am an aspiring engineer, and I
Then I ask you again, what are you doing on my ship? What are you doing right now?
I slink away.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the other two a look, like Win and other guy
Thorn?
Thorn.
Yeah.
A look, and I'm gonna
Let's go.
step in front of him and say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa."
You step in
calm
front
down
of
here.
the captain and say, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Just let's all calm down. There's a reasonable explanation for this, and I'm watching Thorn and
I just get out. I get out. I
Win.
get out. The minute
Thorn
the captain
gives a
turns...
little salute and
Yeah.
see.
The minute the captain says anything to Delton, I would have just nodded and stepped aside because I have to work, and the captain would respect that.
And I
So the captain, as soon as Victor disrespects him a little bit, you see him turn to you.
Who, me again?
No, to Victor.
Good. I'm out.
Because he's distracted now by the fact that Victor just disrespected him on his maiden voyage of the SS Glory.
Which I wouldn't do.
Started off in a good way, and now he's kind of... Have I showed you the airlocks? And he grabs you, and he slams you up against the wall, or tries to.
Oh,
So we're going to do an
God.
opposed roll.
Meanwhile, can Win and I just be taking the 3 pieces and
that's
like...
what I'm hoping.
Absolutely,
okay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
during this
We're
time...
using this as a distraction for sure.
Yeah. So let's just fuck off and get... we're going to go down that hallway to the south, and once that shuts, we're going to assemble it in that little fucking hallway.
And you hear him yelling as he's holding Victor. I don't know if you're fighting back at all, Victor.
No, not yet.
But I'm-
So as he's holding you and you're kind of allowing him to, he's pointing at Delton. He says, you just nominated yourself for the night shifts. And he's got you held up as you see a whole bunch of security people come over to grab him. I do not want to see this man for the rest of the voyage. Is that clear? Aye, aye, Captain. They see as they start cuffing Victor.
But then to cause more distraction, I continue it on. But hold on, he was only defending me, and to be honest, Mr.
Shut
Dubois,
it!
I was completely out of
We're
line.
going to go to Thorn and Win. Thorn and Win, you actually make your way into, with all the commotion, people actually have left the nacelle empty.
Perfect. So we assemble it
You're
now.
in there, so you plant in a cell.
Yeah.
Immediately you hear like a magnetic pull as it attaches itself to the nearest. I can't remember the word. I've watched Star Trek in so long.
Metal pole.
Basically, metal pull. Yep. And
Struck.
immediately it starts beeping,
And
and recognize the tempo is actually
Yeah.
increasing.
And we start walking calmly towards the escape pods.
Win
Announcement.
sets her like watch to 3 minutes.
I was having a you hear the captain still yelling. I was having a luxury tour.
And
I was
go
I was
around
watching,
the captain.
walking. I was doing my rounds one last time before you make way. On a maiden voyage such as this, I'd expect more of my crew. He looks around, kind of disappointed, and makes his way. Make way! We are about to disembark. And he walks to the front of the room, out of the space.
Win motions at Delton like, we gotta go.
Okay. You know that again. You want to time it so it's as it's disembarking.
Yeah. So I'm heading towards
I set my watch for 3 minutes, so I know.
So what was Victor escorted off the ship?
Victor is being held right now for not mutiny. I can't remember the term.
Treason.
disrespect.
Disrespect. Yep, the most horrible crime. And you are now actually being escorted to what appears to be a holding cell to the front of the ship.
Oh boy.
I'm ducking down to
Victor,
the engine.
Dalton,
we were escorted, told to get out, and I'm going to loop around it and swing around through the bay up to the pod.
ready stations for disembarkment. You hear over the announcements.
So how many people are holding Victor?
So he just had an altercation with the captain. So we're going to say at least 2 on either side and at least 1 armed escort.
Oh, fuck me. And they're just holding him in a cell.
They're walking up towards the front of the ship. He's gone.
I see Dalton out of the corner of my eye as they're about to walk me through a door, and the look on my face is just saying, "Get the hell out of here,
kid."
Don't make me do this for nothing is also planted on my face.
Yes. So I do. I just
insubordination.
I slink.
So you know
I slink off the ship.
You feel the motion and the gravity, that's artificial gravity. You feel it shift a little as the power that's needed to get this thing in motion is drawn away from the generator. And as you move your way to the front of the towards the escape pod, which way are you going? Escape pod, or are you going to the snub nose?
I'm heading to the escape pod, and I'm pulling Wynn by the hand, and we're going down through the escape.
You don't have to pull me by the hand. Wynn is following.
I know, but this is just him trying to be like.
No.
Well, then you bat it away. This is what he does.
Okay, so
taking this route.
Just out of curiosity, why? Like, wouldn't that set off some alarm bells to these guys if
Rita has a timer, and she's going to try to time it for the last 10 seconds.
Just taking off, and we're getting in the escape pods.
Which way are you
I'm not
going?
Gonna get into
Dalton?
it until the timer's at like 5.
Yeah, so like exactly, he's going to try to get out.
Stand
and
outside,
hopefully
clean a door, and then the minute it's like hop in.
So there's no way to slink off the ship at this point because it's already taken off.
So you can, aside from the escape pods and the snub nose, those are your 2 options.
I'm sticking on the ship. I'm going down with it with Victor.
I'm going to escape.
Okay, so your watch or whatever device, your timing device, I imagine it's not a watch in the future.
Data band.
Your data band, you hear it count down. 10,
watch.
9, get ready for disembarkment. 8, 7,
And I hop in.
6,
And I pull.
make ready for FTL. You're across the station. The strangest sensation starts overcoming you as you hit the button for the escape pod, and you hear an explosion coming from where the heatsink was.
Did we ever fix that?
The engineers never made it to the heatsink.
All right.
And you see overload. The escape pod doesn't seem to be releasing.
Oh, shit.
As you feel yourself jump, and the weirdest sensation, moving faster than you ever have, explosion after explosion in the back of the ship. And you're not sure where you've been taken off to. And we'll stop there for tonight.
Holy fuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Diaspora Part 2.
Or diaspora.
Oh, right. Or Diaspora. I'm still going to
Diaspora.
Diaspora. Sorry. Whatever.
Diaspora.
Schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. This was a blast. This was so much fun. Doing a bit of character creation, world building, and then actually playing the characters that we created is always a really cool angle that we don't get to do very often. So thank you, Chris. Thank you for putting this together.
Yeah. That was wicked.
I guess we got Endgame. Who gets Endgame? Someone figure that out.
Yeah, somebody who's helping a lot with the world building, I guess, would be a good one.
There was a lot of really cool stuff with the world building. So you guys look at that. I'm going to mention that next week we are playing a very special game, which we'll stay silent about for now. We'll make a post about it next week. It's going to be very interesting. A lot of fun. One that it's been actually you've been waiting for a while. So you just wait for that badass stuff. Alex is going to say William.
There you go.
And I think that's fair.
Endgame XP.
William gave a lot of suggestions. So
Involved the whole time.
perfect. William M87.
Always good for a laugh.
You win Endgame XP. You can tell we're all tired because we went overtime. That's very rare for us. So
It's like 15 minutes is like 3 hours.
and we were all last night with the God pool and stuff. We were late night drinking. We're tired.
We were not out this late last night.
I was out so late last night, dude. I was driving. I literally drove downtown, then drove home, then drove fucking God to the airport, then drove Alex to his car, then drove home. So I was out late. Ladies and gentlemen, this was such a blast. Thank you for hanging out with us, as you always do every Wednesday. We love you very, very much. Hope you have a fantastic night and a fantastic weekend. I might do a spooky stream, so check for that if you want to hang out. And we will see you next Wednesday for a very special game. Hope you had fun tonight. And as my buddy Chris always likes to say,
We'll see you around the table.
we will see you around the table, guys. Good night.